The revenge death bomb is based on negative energy. The more negative emotions, the stronger the energy gathered. With baby's hatred towards Saiyan and the blessing of the entire earth, Kamehameha, which Vegeta burst out with all his strength, was finally blocked. And the revenge death bullet condensed by baby did not disappear, but continued to increase. Diddy. Combat power, 5 trillion strength, 20 trillion. This is the energy intensity of baby's body now. Combat power is the strength of the body after Vegeta is added, and intensity is the power that baby can show. After the energy stabilized, the revenge death bomb turned out to be as high as 25 trillion. Even Vegeta's eyelids twitched slightly during the runaway. Damn it, this damn baby is even worse than Frieza. The sneak attack just now made Vegeta hit without any time to react. At the critical moment, he could only explode his body power in a hurry, otherwise he would be seriously injured. Of course, serious injuries can be treated by eating fairy beans. It's just that the situation at that time didn't allow him to think too much. When the body sensed a threat, the subconscious burst out the body's power. This is the same as someone poking in your eyes with a finger. Even if you know that he will stop at the last minute, you still can't help but close your eyes. After the energy burst, of course, baby's attack was blocked unscathed. The price is that Vegeta has been suppressing and not mobilizing, and the mixed energy used only for fusion dissipates, and even the original power is missing. Energy fusion is 49%. This is the final progress, and his combat power has also exploded from the original 10 trillion to 20 trillion. Normal combat power, 1.7 billion. Normal intensity, 50 billion. Super 3 combat power, 680 billion. Super 3 strength, 20 trillion. Then that's it. The energy he newly cultivated became stronger, but the power that originally belonged to him was gone. He can no longer continue to strengthen through energy fusion, he can only improve slowly by his own practice. And because the mixed energy dissipated, his understanding of the power of the rules was only half, to be precise, only 49%, not even half. This kind of strength is obviously much weaker than that of the previous battle against Beerus. This is the reason why Vegeta runs away suddenly and kills baby quickly. Is it 25 trillion energy intensity? Vegeta looked up at the huge revenge death bullet, his eyes full of resentment. Since energy fusion is no longer possible, there is no need to do this with him. Call. Vegeta let out a breath, and directly exited Super Saiyan II's state, returned to normal, slightly adjusted his breath, and calmed down his mood slowly. Ha 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 ha. The Vegeta baby in the high air had stabilized the situation and even recovered from the disadvantage. He was immediately proud and burst into laughter. Especially when he saw Vegeta's exit from Super 3, he laughed and said, "How? You know that my baby is great. You can't beat me. Now there is no energy to maintain the transformation, right? Then, you can bear the anger of my lord baby." Baby's hatred of Vegeta is also max. If he hadn't sent a signal to the people on the earth in time and absorbed the negative energy of everyone, I am afraid that the gutter would have capsized at that time. Therefore, even if he covets Vegeta's supermatch energy, he still does not intend to leave this formidable enemy behind. Otherwise, if anything happens and Vegeta is out of control, then he may be completely cold. Huh, are you stupid? Vegeta just snorted when he heard the words, and said coldly, "I haven't fulfilled the promise just now, how can I give up? The reason for quitting Super Saiyan E is just to fight with you in a different form." Hee hee. Do you think I don't know anything? Super Saiyan E is already the strongest form. Do you want to tell me that there is also Super Saiyan IV? Don't laugh so hard. Baby obviously doesn't believe that Vegeta still has a stronger state. There is indeed a Super 4, but I won't be here yet. Vegeta said coldly, "But to deal with you, I don't need Super 4 yet, it's enough to have this state. Drink it." With a bang, Vegeta suddenly sprayed a strong silver-white flame, his hair stood up high, leaving only a pinch of bangs, and his facial features became more prominent. Diddy. Combat power, 850 billion strength, 25 trillion. Sure enough, it's the same as I guessed. Vegeta felt the explosive power in his body, couldn't help but clench his fist, then suddenly raised his head to look at baby, his eyes full of sharpness. This is a state of full potential. Son Gohan was dumbfounded in the distance. The so-called full potential state is the mysterious mode, and full potential is Son Gohan's own name. This suddenly appeared, Saiyan, named Vegeta, not only could transform into Super Saiyan E, but he could even do it at full potential. Who is this? You. Who are you? Baby also asked this question. It's a pity that Vegeta couldn't answer him, and said with a sneer, "When you get to hell, you can ask Hades about this question again. If Hades could know his origin, the mysterious state, for Vegeta, is to open up the two channels of the governor and stimulate all potential. He has the blood of a human being from the earth and Saiyan factor in his body. The body of the most perfect warrior is optimized and directly connected to the two channels of Ren and Du. As expected, a mysterious pattern has erupted. Baby, your end is here. Vegeta yelled and rushed towards Baby in the sky. Faintly, the power of rules surrounds him, and the silver flame gradually changes to a half-particle energy state. Demigod realm. Want to kill me? Do you have this ability? Revenge Death Bomb? Vegeta Baby felt Vegeta's strong killing intent, and felt awe-inspiring. With a loud shout, he pushed out the Revenge Death Bullet that had been condensed to the limit. Faced with the 25 trillion Revenge Death Bomb, Vegeta's expression became more solemn, but he did not choose to retreat, but directly greeted him. Dragon Fist broke out. A golden dragon faintly appeared behind Vegeta, roaring with majesty and awe-inspiring aura. The extremely powerful force was concentrated in the center of the fist, and suddenly penetrated into the black Revenge Death Bullet. The energies of the two sides rubbed violently, and layer by layer of air waves continued to spread, sweeping in all directions. On the surface, it seems a bit stalemate, and even the Revenge Death Bomb is still slightly at a disadvantage. Vegeta Baby couldn't help but gritted his teeth secretly, and urged the ultimate strength to continuously inject the Revenge Death Bomb. This limit of energy is really too huge, it may explode every minute, when one is not well controlled, let alone the Earth. I am afraid that the entire solar system will have to be destroyed. Son Gohan and others in the distance were startled and worried. However, just when everyone thought that energy would burst out at any time, they suddenly heard a loud roar from Gogeta, and then something happened. Energy purification. The black Revenge Death Bullet quickly turned into white at a speed visible to the naked eye, and then bounced back towards Vegeta Baby. No. It's impossible. Vegeta Baby let out a panic scream. Such a huge limit energy, which was originally beyond his control, was now turned into an enemy's tricks, which in turn hit him. Vegeta Baby's heart was full of horror, holding his hands in front, constantly catalyzing the power, intending to regain control of the Revenge Death Bomb. Go to die for me, baby. It's so cheap for you to die like this. Vegeta roared, relying on the explosive power of the Dragon Fist to forcefully push the purified Revenge Death Bullet to Baby. What Gogeta can do, how could Vegeta fail to do it? It's just a mere purification of energy. With the power of rules, it is not difficult to do it. Of course, because Vegeta is not at the peak strength, the current extreme combat power is in the middle of Baby. Therefore, the use of Dragon Fist burst and energy purification also consumed a lot of his energy, and it was not as easy as it seemed on the surface. Rumble. Do not, the earth-shattering explosion sounded, the Revenge Death Bullet and the power of the Dragon Fist exploded. After the explosion, the power shocked the world, and even Son Gohan and others in the distance were trembling with horror. Fortunately, although the purified Revenge Death Bomb is powerful, it is similar to Vitality and will not cause much damage to the Earth. Call. Vegeta took a long breath, fell to the ground, took out a fairy bean from his arms and took it, and his physical strength immediately returned to its peak. This time, he moved the real fire, and directly exploded with all his strength. It's just that this battle is really a bit of a panic. Even if Baby is eliminated, it will not be able to eliminate his hatred. It was originally just to hone the new energy, but in the end it did make the strength of this force explode. Unexpectedly, but lost his own power. It was like picking up sesame seeds and losing watermelon. What? Just as Vegeta was extremely upset, he suddenly realized that the black lightning that he had not figured out had changed in his body. It was originally just a black arc, and you can't see it without paying attention. Vegeta also tried to perceive it, but unfortunately it has not been able to capture its trajectory. But now, it suddenly grew in a circle, faintly mixed with golden light, and it was still felt by Vegeta. When Vegeta gathered his mind on the black lightning, he immediately sensed that it contained extremely terrifying energy, which was far greater than his power during his peak period. The most important thing is that the energy he thought he had lost, the power of his body and the power of mixed rules, were found in this black lightning. What's happening here? The loss of energy is definitely a happy event for Vegeta, but it is a bit puzzled in his mind. What's the origin of this black lightning? It actually saved his power. And it seems that its essence must be higher than the mixed energy level, otherwise it is impossible to include them all. It seems to be able to absorb fusion? After trying a little bit, Gogeta looked overjoyed. Although the energy is transferred to the black lightning, he can still be improved through energy fusion, and the improvement seems to be greater. This can be regarded as a misfortune. Is it a blessing? The original unhappy mood dissipated instantly, and he was overjoyed. Sometimes gains and losses are not as simple as they seem on the surface. Huh. Huh. The high-altitude energy dissipated, and the image was embarrassed, and the panting Vegeta baby reappeared. He actually survived. At this time, Vegeta baby looked very bad, his breath weakened a lot, and his face was full of hideous hatred. Not dead? Vegeta raised his brows, surprised. The energy burst just now, and the intensity was absolutely amazing, and Vegeta thought that baby could not hold it anymore. Sure enough, no one can become a super boss in the original book. If that's the case, then I'll give you one last ride. Vegeta's palm was condensed with an energy bomb, aiming directly at baby in the sky. He is in a good mood now, no anger at all, but for baby, he still holds the heart of killing. Master baby. Son Gohan saw that baby was in danger, and immediately supported his weak body, rushed over to attack Vegeta, and planned to surround Wei and save Zhao. It's a pity that they weren't Vegeta's opponents, let alone their current weak state. Vegeta only moved his body slightly, and easily avoided all attacks, and then kicked them out one by one. Baby, accept your fate. Looking at baby, who looked ugly from high above and hadn't fully recovered for the time being, Vegeta threw the energy projectile out without hesitation. This may become his first soul after coming to the Dragon Ball world. However, what Vegeta did not expect was that an accident occurred. Diddy. Combat power, 20 trillion strength, 2 trillion. What the hell? There is even such a weird data. In Vegeta's stunned moment, a small golden figure passed by, kicking the energy bomb that was thrown away by him with a kick. Rumble. The energy bomb exploded in the distance, directly raising a mountain range to the ground. This energy bomb is not particularly strong, but it can wipe out the baby who is temporarily out of breath, so the movement caused is not too big. What surprised Vegeta was that the little golden figure that appeared suddenly was a little Goku in Super 3 states. Who are you? Super 3rd Junior Goku looked at Vegeta on the ground, his face full of vigilance. It was also after seeing his true face that Vegeta finally understood why the data returned by the invisible detector was so weird. Son Goku was turned into a child state by the Black Star Dragon Ball, and his strength was greatly weakened. The original Super 3 state should have a power of 20 trillion, but now it can only play 2 trillion, only 10%. Because the energy is unstable, he can't even use instant transmission. In the original book, he was easily hanged and beaten against the Super 2 Vegeta baby, who also had a strength of 20 trillion. Reluctantly transformed into Super Saiyan E, it couldn't last long, and he was beaten back to his original form soon. However, this guy is more savvy in battle, and his IQ is seriously offline at other times, otherwise he wouldn't be attacking Vegeta directly now. Vegeta pointed to baby not far behind him, and said helplessly, Son Goku, before you figure out my identity, should you look at the situation first? You make me very embarrassed. Huh. Son Goku didn't expect to get such an answer, and he didn't feel hostility on Vegeta, so he was a little confused. At this time, Son Goku just returned to the Earth not long. He first went to the Temple of Heaven and sent the Black Star Dragon Ball back. But I don't know that Dend and Bobo of the Celestial Temple have been controlled by baby, and the Black Star Dragon Ball will be taken to baby soon. In the original book, baby uses the Black Star Dragon Ball to recreate a new planet and name it New Ziffle. After Son Goku transformed into Super 4, and after a bitter struggle to wipe out baby, the side effects of Black Star Dragon Ball could not be reversed, and the Earth exploded. Since the Black Star Dragon Ball was made before the old god and Piccolo separated, Piccolo thought he needed to be responsible, so he died with the Earth. Finally appeared on Super 17, Son Goku helped a lot when he was trapped in hell. Okay, get back to business. At this time, Son Goku had just separated from Trunks. After leaving the Temple of Heaven, he noticed the strange atmosphere of the Earth and sensed the violent energy fluctuations coming from here, so he immediately dropped Xiaofeng and rushed over by himself. And the first thing he saw was the scene where Vegeta kicked Son Gohan, Son Goten, and Piccolo, and fired energy bombs at baby who looked like Vegeta at high altitude. Son Goku was worried about his relatives, and without careful observation, he immediately stepped forward to stop Vegeta's behavior. Hearing what Vegeta said at this time, he turned his head and glanced at baby, and was stunned. Vegeta. How did you become such a ghost? Son Goku's head was even more confused, even a little nodded. He didn't know what happened in the short few months after he left the Earth. How did he just come back? Everything was different from what he had imagined. Son Goku. I didn't expect you to come back so soon. As soon as Vegeta baby saw Son Goku, he couldn't help but breathe fire in his eyes. The hatred for Son Goku was greater than that of Vegeta, so he directly exposed his stuff. No, you are. Baby. Son Goku frowned, and after carefully sensing his breath, he faintly discovered the truth. And at this time, he also discovered that except for Vegeta, everyone else had the breath of Baby, which had a trace of evil. This situation is the same as the original Trunks. They had already played against Baby in the universe, and Baby had been possessed by Trunks at that time. It's just that Son Goku didn't know that even though Baby was driven away, Trunks was still planted with live eggs. The reason to stay awake is just because Baby needs an internal response, which may play an unexpected role at critical times. Grandpa, be careful. A small figure flew from the sky. Son Gohan's daughter Xiaofang came, and flew while shouting, "That person is not Vegeta, don't believe him." Giruhyujiru, it's dangerous and dangerous. Xiaofang revealed a small robot in his arms, and Girujilu said endlessly, "You really are Baby." Son Goku was finally determined, his face dignified and swept around, and finally looked at Vegeta, and said strangely, "Who are you again? It feels a bit familiar. Have we met?" Vegeta helplessly touched his forehead. Is it time to discuss this issue? I didn't see Baby already started to pull back. As long as he absorbs some of the hatred of the people on the earth towards Saiyan, he will soon be able to recover, and even go further. After all, the current Baby hasn't reached the peak state of the original. But after Vegeta sensed the black lightning in his body, he didn't rush to kill Baby. It doesn't matter if you raise one, Baby can improve, and Vegeta can also improve, and it will improve faster. The most important point is that now Vegeta's hatred of Baby has been reduced. Seeing the helplessness of Vegeta, Son Goku also seemed to realize that he was stupid. He smiled awkwardly and turned to face Baby. I told you to run before, but I didn't expect you to come to the earth. This time I will never all let you go again. HMPH, you also need to have this ability. Facing Son Goku, Baby didn't persuade him at all. So, there was no suspense in the next scene. Son Goku and Baby fought, completely ignoring Vegeta. The weakened version of Son Goku versus the weakened version of Vegeta Baby, the two really played well, and they couldn't tell the difference for a while. Looking at the high-altitude battle, Vegeta returned to normal at this time, and he didn't mean to intervene. He is very clear about Baby's mind, that is, to use Son Goku to slowly regain strength, and even find opportunities to get out and take the opportunity to increase energy. Son Goku didn't think so much anymore. As a single cell, he had only one thought in the face of the enemy, so he rushed forward and did it directly, leaving the rest alone. Baby in full form should be stronger. But I seem to have reached a bottleneck. Even if he raises his energy and fights again, I am afraid it will not increase the energy fusion. Vegeta rubbed his chin and groaned. He has tried it just now. He can still absorb the mixed energy in the black lightning, but the progress of the energy fusion has stopped and has been stuck at 49%. Intuition tells him that he needs to improve his realm in order to continue the energy fusion. So the question is, there are two options in front of him. One is Super Saiyan transformation, and the other is Super Saiyan IV. Super 4. Vegeta clenched a fist fiercely. There is no need to think too much to get the answer. The Super Game God transforms. There is no need to think about it. Why? Because he is already a demigod, he will become a god directly after the energy fusion is completed, so why bother to become that kind of pseudo-god? Transformation after becoming a god should be like Zamasu, with god energy plus Super Red, which is equal to Super Red Rose. So, what about god energy plus Super Blue? Super Purple? The dark purple of Beerus? Well, these will be studied later. Now Vegeta's goal is to transform into Super Saiyan IV first. After breaking through that level, the energy fusion will definitely explode again. I hope that in this time and space, the transformation can be completely completed. Vegeta whispered to himself. When I first crossed over, I had a fight with Beerus. Although the battle was suppressed throughout, Vegeta still yearned for it. Now if you want to start a fight of that level again, you must first resolve the mixed energy in your body. Ah. What are you doing? Dad, I'm Xiaofang, don't you recognize me? Uncle Goten, don't come over. When Vegeta was meditating, there was a sudden scream not far away, awakening him. Turning around, it turned out that Son Gohan and Son Goten were bullying Xiaofang together. They want to catch Xiaofang, turn back to let Baby plant live eggs, and contribute a super game power. However, The brothers have already transferred energy to baby just now, and they are still in a weak state, so Xiaofang looks dangerous, but they won't be caught easily. Only when Vegeta looked over, Piccolo had quietly walked behind Xiaofang, as if he was about to succeed. Guruji Lujilu. Xiaofang, dangerous, Xiaofang, dangerous. The robot Jiru shivered in the backpack hiding behind Xiaofang. You guys are really lackluster, I can't see it. Vegeta's figure flashed, one hand held Xiaofang up to his waist, and turned around. Bang bang bang. With 3 legs in succession, Son Gohan, Son Goten and Piccolo flew out one after another. Ah! Xiaofang was taken aback, and when Vegeta put her down, she was still shocked. You. My name is Vegeta. Vegeta flicked her brow. Ah, what are you doing? Xiaofang quietly breathed a sigh of relief when he saw that Vegeta and Son Gohan were different, they should be normal people. But who is this person? I don't seem to have seen it before. He is so handsome and has a tail. He is Saiyan too? Didn't know that she had turned so many thoughts in a short time, and said lightly. You know that they are not right. Why are you still getting close to them? Are you still holding unrealistic ideas in your heart? She really is a naive little girl. He had the memory of Son Goku in his mind, and when he saw Xiaofang, he couldn't help but use the tone of an elder to teach her. But to Xiaofang, Vegeta was a stranger, even though she had just saved her life. What? Xiaofang pursed her mouth, and finally didn't know what she thought, did not refute, but pulled his sleeves and said, before we came back, you were fighting them, right? She pointed to Baby who was in a fierce battle with Son Goku, and pointed to the 3 of Son Gohan. Vegeta raised his brows. On the surface, this girl looked like she was only a decade old, but she was actually Weijilongshin, much smarter than Son Goku. So, you were actually very powerful, better than my grandfather. Xiaofang opened her beautiful big eyes, her face full of excitement and curiosity. Because now Son Goku is still playing with Baby, and has gradually fallen into a disadvantage. But judging from the situation at the scene, before they came, Baby and others obviously suffered. From such a comparison, it can be seen that the handsome elder brother in front of him is probably much stronger than her grandfather. In Xiaofang's heart, Son Goku is already the #1 strong player in the universe. He didn't expect to run out of a stronger one now, and he looks so handsome. Alright. Vegeta didn't know her careful thoughts, but only responded softly without concealing it. Strong is strong, too modest is hypocritical. Then can you help to get my dad and them back to their original form? Xiaofang immediately became excited, clutching Vegeta's sleeve tightly. Don't worry. Vegeta glanced at her and said, they are only temporarily controlled, and there is no life threatening. To save them, just knock Baby down, or feed them a super sweet water. What is super divine water? Xiaofang's eyes lit up immediately. Vegeta has a headache. He is not good at dealing with this kind of little girl. It's really embarrassing to ask and answer questions. Danger, danger. Jiru. Jiru relieved Vegeta at this time. Vegeta actually noticed it, and immediately pulled Xiaofang aside 2 steps. Boom. A figure flashed past their original position, and fell heavily to the ground, exploding a deep pit. Oh, it hurts so much. Little Goku's voice came from the deep pit. It was obviously not a major problem. He was soon seen crawling out of the pit, and he had returned to normal. There was nothing wrong with him except for a little embarrassment. Vegeta took a look at the sky. Baby had already taken the opportunity to run, and even Son Gohan had slipped away. No way. Son Goku's strength is not good, but Vegeta is here, and Baby's self-confidence has been lost. Baby is rushing back to find a way and improve his strength. For Vegeta, it doesn't matter, just take advantage of this time to study Super Forward transformation himself. Really, Grandpa, you almost hit us. Also, you couldn't beat that bastard named Baby, are you too shameful? Xiaofang complained to Son Goku, but he still looked at his situation with concern, and he was relieved to see that Son Goku was indeed okay. Son Goku shrugged his shoulders and said helplessly, I can't help it, Baby is now possessed by Vegeta, his strength is amazing, I am not an opponent at all. If it weren't for him to be injured before, I can't hold it long. Having said this, he suddenly looked at Vegeta and curiously said, by the way, you hurt Baby, right? I always wanted to ask, who are you? It seems that you are also Saiyan. I know this. Xiaofang immediately raised his hand actively. His name is Vegeta, he is much stronger than Grandpa, and he defeated Baby and my dad alone. That's amazing, you are indeed much better than me, I really want to fight you. Son Goku was excited when he heard it, and suddenly he seemed to remember. Hey, I remember that after I merged with Vegeta, it seemed that I was also called Vegeta. Okay. Let's stop here for the gossip. Vegeta interrupted them helplessly, and said, now the entire Earth is almost controlled by baby. They have baby's living eggs in their bodies, and only super god water can purify them. So, are you going to save people first, or defeat baby first? Everyone? Son Goku felt a little heavy, and then suddenly remembered something. Broken. Dragon Ball. Son Goku and Xiaofang yelled almost at the same time. Since the entire Earth is controlled, baby has no reason to let go of Dend and Bobo in the heavens, so the Black Star Dragon Ball they sent back before. And Trunks, we have to tell him the news as soon as possible. Xiaofang immediately became anxious. Guruji Lujiru, Trunks, danger, Trunks, danger. Don't make a noise, Jiru, we're talking about business. Xiaofang directly stuffed Jiru into his backpack. Son Goku said, it's too late to tell Trunks, I can only hope that he is okay. But baby's strength is too strong, I am definitely not strong enough to deal with him. Grandpa, did you forget that we still have Vegeta? Xiaofang looked very dissatisfied with what Son Goku had overlooked. Son Goku's eyes lit up. Baguette, would you like to help us deal with baby? But before that, you can fight with me first, let me see your strength first. Grandpa. Xiaofang stomped his feet with anger. It's this time, do you still have your heart to think about this? The most important thing for us now is to defeat baby, save dad and them, and all the people on Earth. That's true. Son Goku scratched his head awkwardly. Vegeta felt helpless, and always felt that he was not on the same channel as the two of them. Forget it. Let's solve your own business first. Son Goku, if you haven't made a decision yet, just watch it. Maybe what happens in a while will also inspire you. Vegeta decided to start transforming into a Super 4 now. For Son Goku and Xiaofang, he didn't feel the need to conceal them. People who have the conditions to transform, even if they don't watch him transform, will be able to master them sooner or later, and those who don't have the conditions will be useless even if they watch it. What are you going to do? Son Goku blinked curiously, always feeling that something big would happen. Vegeta told Son Goku and Xiaofang to retreat some distance and stand on top of a mountain by himself. The original description of Super Saiyan 4's transformation is very simple: transforming into a giant ape, regaining sanity, and controlling power. These 12 words completely summarize the process of Super 4's transformation. But whether it is that simple or not, it still needs to be tested by Vegeta himself. Of course, he is not worried about what will happen, the big deal is that the transformation fails. Anyway, he turned into a great ape without losing his mind like Son Goku. The artificial moon containing 17 million Burr's light waves quickly condensed in the palm of Vegeta's palm, and then gently tossed by him, and quickly rose into the sky. Where did I see this thing? Son Goku looked at it from a distance and frowned secretly. The memory of the artificial moon is too long after all, even if Son Goku has seen it, it will not be remembered for a while. It's so dazzling, like a little sun. What does Vegeta want to do? Xiaofang made a parasol with her palm, and narrowed her eyes slightly. But her words reminded Son Goku. Son Goku's eyes lit up and said, by the way, the artificial moon, Vegeta intends to become a great ape. What great ape? Xiaofang didn't know what was going on. But before Son Goku explained, the body of Vegeta's tail over there had already begun to react after absorbing the Boolean light emitted by the artificial moon. For Vegeta himself, this situation was a bit strange, as if something in his body was ignited, his body expanded rapidly, and his strength exploded. And at the same time as his transformation, his Super Saiyan energy was also ignited, and when he transformed into a great ape, he also turned on Super Saiyan's transformation state. As a result, when he finally became a tall giant ape, his brown hair was supposed to be golden now. So, this is why in GT, Great Apes Son Goku and Vegeta are the golden great apes. Vegeta had a clear understanding in his heart. Ordinary Saiyan turned into a great ape, all with brown hair. As for Saiyan, who has a super game transformation, after becoming a great ape, he will start the super game transformation at the same time, which is the golden great ape. Therefore, the strength of the golden great ape is 50 times that of the brown great ape, which is 500 times that of normal. It's amazing. Son Goku seemed to notice the gap, his eyes widened. He glanced at his ass subconsciously, and then began to think about a serious question. The power of the golden great ape seems to be stronger than that of Super 3. Should I find a way to make the tail grow again? Maybe this will defeat baby. How did he become like this? Is this the great ape that Grandpa just said? Xiaofang's mouth opened wide, and his face was full of shock. Ah. But it's a bit different from what I thought. Son Goku scratched his head, a little distressed. He remembered that he would lose his mind when he transformed into a giant ape. And Vegeta's appearance was obviously the same as Vegeta, and he did not lose his mind. No. Son Goku's expression suddenly changed. This is not only the transformation of a great ape. I don't know when. The whole ground began to turn red slightly, like an iron pan that was burned red. The surrounding air also seemed to have evaporated, and the temperature continued to rise. It's so hot, Grandpa. What is going on? Is it all because of Vegeta's transformation? Xiaofang is used to asking Grandpa if he has any questions. As long as it is a matter of cultivation, Son Goku has always been omniscient in her heart. But this time, Son Goku couldn't figure it out, and naturally couldn't answer Xiaofang's question. Boom. At this moment, the great ape that Vegeta incarnate suddenly exploded with a breath of incomparable horror, and the golden light soared into the sky, and then spread, covering the entire space around Vegeta. Crackling. Crackling. Intense lightning bursts sounded continuously, and each of them resembled thunder, and the momentum was extremely terrifying. Xiaofang was already shivering with fright, and hid directly behind Son Goku. It's so scary, what does Vegeta want to do? Son Goku was actually holding on, his face was full of stern color, but there was a big sweat on his forehead slipping off. However, he faintly had a bold guess in his heart. This way of transforming may be a further improvement than Super Saiyan E, and the improvement will be quite astonishing. After all, the Golden Great Ape just now has surpassed Super Saiyan E, and now if he goes further, Son Goku really can't think about it. Finally, the golden light in the distance slowly converged. The high temperature that burned the entire earth red, as well as strong lightning, all receded quickly like ice and snow melted. In the end, the Golden Great Ape in the same place disappeared and was replaced by a tall and handsome man. It's just that the image of this man is rather peculiar, with red eyes, blue-green eyes, and a serious expression on his face. His body is covered with red body hair, his lower body is a red trousers, a black half-length cloak is tied to the sky-blue trouser belt, and a thick red tail floats behind him. The whole person looks full of primitive wildness. Okay. So handsome. Okay. So awesome. After Xiaofang and Son Goku saw the new image of Vegeta, the two reacted differently. But without exception, they were all shocked by Vegeta. Diddy. Combat power, 8.5 trillion strength, 250 trillion. Knowing his current combat power index from the invisible detector, Vegeta couldn't help but grin. The Super 4 transformation has increased by 10 times on the basis of the Golden Great Ape. In other words, Super 4 is equivalent to 5,000 times the normal, far surpassing 400 times the Super 3. And just as Vegeta expected, when he transformed into Super Saiyan IV and broke the original limit, the mixed energy contained in the black lightning is undergoing fusion at a very fast speed, easily breaking through 50% threshold. 50%, 52%, 55%, 60%, 70%, in the end, the energy fusion degrees steadily stopped at a height of 79.9%. This is the effect of Vegeta's transformation. Rumble. The breath that had stabilized soared again. However, what he perceives from Son Goku is that the pressure on Super 4 Vegeta is getting stronger and stronger. The entire Earth seems to be trembling under this pressure, but Vegeta's breath is getting worse. The more and more you can't be perceived. The energy fusion increased, and the breath of the energy of the gods also took up a greater proportion, and Vegeta was gradually moving towards the direction of the gods. Diddy. Combat power, 24.99 trillion strength, 9,999 trillion. Vegeta was shocked. In just such a moment, the energy compression broke through to 40 times. His combat effectiveness also quadrupled, and he eventually got stuck in a bottleneck that was infinitely close to 1 jing. He had a faint feeling that as long as he broke through this threshold, he would be a true god. But what makes him strange is that the energy fusion degree is only 79.9%, not even 80%. If you want to break through the threshold of 1 Beijing, the fusion should reach 80%. 80% become a god? Why is the last 20% used? Is it chasing Angel's realm? Before reaching that state, Vegeta naturally couldn't know the answer. We can't beat Beerus with our current strength alone, but it looks like I am now. Can I continue to improve? There was a peculiar enlightenment in Vegeta's heart. As long as he grasped that feeling, there seemed to be an incredible change. So he immediately tried. A very weird feeling rises suddenly, it's unclear. The energy in Vegeta is transforming in a peculiar way. In his induction, there is a feeling that although the universe is large, it is all in the palm of the hand. Grandpa, look at it. Xiaofang suddenly yelled at Son Goku. Baguette has changed again. I don't know when. A cloud of rose gold particle energy slowly rose up from Vegeta, covering his whole body. Immediately afterwards, the originally black hair quickly turned rose gold, and the pupils turned blue gold. What the hell is going on? Son Goku looked dumbfounded. Everything that happened before him was completely beyond his comprehensible scope. But what he can be sure of is that now Vegeta has reached a level that he can't appreciate at all. Not to mention the current Vegeta, the former ape-shaped Saiyan mode, even the golden great ape, has surpassed Baby and surpassed his peak state. Super Saiyan. Vegeta exhaled slowly. Only one step away, or just one step at the door, he can enter the realm of gods. But even if he hadn't fully reached the realm of gods, he could still use the transfiguration of the gods. It's just the effect, a bit different from what he imagined. The super red state is a layer of divine energy covered by the breath of everybody. Super race god rose, it is the breath of God in super red transformation. But now, he is the god of incompleteness, the super game god transformed into Magan? However, Vegeta is absolutely sure that his transformation state is still above Zamasu's rose red, which is a more perfect super game god transformation. Why? Because Zamasu only changed Son Goku's body, but he didn't understand Saiyan's situation, and he couldn't control Saiyan's power. And Vegeta has been studying his physique in the power of rules for more than a year, and now with this transformation, he has already figured out the essence of the super game god transformation. That black lightning is the power of rules in Saiyan's body, and it is also the fundamental reason why Saiyan gets stronger as he fights and becomes stronger as he dies. Let's call it the rules of fighting. Super Saiyan transformation is to use energy to stimulate the fighting rules to transform, which is essentially the same as the normal Super Saiyan transformation, which stimulates S cells with energy. Only when it comes to the power of rules, it will develop toward the realm of God. Zamasu only uses God's energy to stimulate the rules of fighting, so he transforms into a super game god Rose. On the other hand, Vegeta was aware of the rules of fighting, and fusion of the rules of fighting, more in line with the changes in Saiyan's physique. Thus, the super game god Magan was born. Moreover, Vegeta had a faint feeling that the super game god Magan was just an incomplete transformation form. When he becomes a god and fully understands the rules of fighting, this form will continue to evolve, and then become more powerful. In terms of realm, the super game god Magan is in the same realm as Super Red, but its strength is very different. The most obvious is that now in the super game god Magan state, Vegeta's combat power data is combat power 250 trillion strength, 10 Jing. Breaking through the boundary of Beijing in one fell swoop, and even doubled it tenfold again, which is very scary, 50,000 times normal. With this kind of strength, you can easily slap Beerus. Will you be able to compete against Whis? Vegeta was so excited that he couldn't help but let out a long scream from the sky. What? As a result, something happened. An invisible gods might spread in all directions, oscillating far away, and instantly covering the entire earth. Puff 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 puff. Very small explosions sounded one after another, densely packed like raindrops. At this moment, all the humans on Earth who were planted with live eggs by Baby exploded into blood mist, turned into black smoke and rose up, but at the moment of leaving the human body, they disappeared. Shidu, Bulma's house. Vegeta Baby started to increase his energy as soon as he came back. He was frightened by Vegeta's combat effectiveness. If he didn't quickly improve, his goal would not be achieved at all. The living eggs in Trunks who had just returned were activated by him and contributed a super race power, and Trunks' sister Bra also did not run. In the end, Vegeta Baby completed the final energy fusion and advanced to the full state. That is, the third form of Super Baby. The shadow of Vegeta is no longer visible on the face, it is completely baby. Immediately afterwards, Dend and Bobo sent the Black Star Dragon Ball. Baby originally wanted a Ziffle Star, but when he thought of Vegeta, this idea was dispelled. If you don't defeat Vegeta, it will be useless to revive ZVR. Shenron, is there any way to increase my energy again? Baby also knew that Shenron could not achieve his desire to transcend boundaries, so he asked this first problem. When he summoned Shenron, it happened at the stage of Vegeta's transformation. The Earth's environment changed and the energy was disturbed, but he did not attract the attention of Vegeta and Son Goku. The red light in Shenron's eyes flickered, and he replied, Saiyan's greatest potential is concentrated in the tail. As long as your tail grows out again, it can be maximized by absorbing the more than 17 million volts light waves released by the moon. Unleash your potential. As long as you can completely control that power, you will become stronger. Tail? Baby rummaged in Vegeta's memory, and found out the secret of the great ape's transformation. Is that so? The reason why Vegeta is strong is because he keeps his tail? But Son Goku and Vegeta have removed the tail? It's so stupid. Baby Zoog complained afterwards, and then made a wish to Shenron. Then my wish is to let Vegeta's tail grow again. I see, this fact is too easy. Shenron pretended to beep, his eyes flashed red, and a tail suddenly grew behind Baby. After that, Shenron redifferentiated into 7 black stars, Dragon Ball, flying out in all directions toward the depths of the universe. Turn into a great ape, control power. Ha ha ha, who will be my opponent then? Damn Saiyan, damn Vegeta, I will step on them all by then. Baby laughed triumphantly, but didn't wait for him to be triumphant. A powerful and boundless coercion suddenly came, almost making Baby unable to support her rushing to the street. This is. He suddenly changed his face. Puff puff puff. With a majestic roar from the horizon, a series of muffled noises came, and the live eggs that Baby planted in the Earth's body exploded into blood mist, turned into black smoke and dissipated. What? How is this possible? Baby couldn't calm down now, and stood up abruptly. However, there were Son Gohan, Son Goten, Trunks and others on the scene. They woke up immediately and remembered everything at the same time. Damn, you actually controlled us to hurt Xiaofang, I can't spare you. Son Gohan went violently at the first moment, and attacked Baby with all his strength. Seeing this, Son Goten and Trunks suppressed other thoughts in their hearts and jointly launched an attack on Baby. It's a pity that their strength has been absorbed by Baby, and they haven't recovered yet. At this time, where is Baby's adversary with great strength? I was knocked down in 3 or 2. Asshole, asshole, I can't spare you. Son Gohan was still roaring. Thinking of what he had done to Xiaofang before, he was very upset and had lost his mind. What can you do if you can't spare me? Although I don't understand what's going on with you, since I can control you once, of course I can control the second time. Baby has calmed down at this time and looked around lying on the ground. The Earth Warrior sneered. Soon, Son Gohan and others were planted with live eggs by Baby again, and they didn't even have the ability to resist, after all, they were too weak. Stop. At this time, a dark-skinned teenager rushed out and launched a continuous ki blast at Baby. It's a pity that he came a little late, and Son Gohan and others have already been recruited. Huh. Who are you? There are people with your strength on the Earth. Baby took the black boy's ki blast forcibly, without any damage. The one who came is the reincarnation of Majin Buu, Yueb. Although the strength is indeed not weak, but compared with Baby, it is too far behind. Damn it, it's too late. Yueb didn't answer Baby's words, he roughly swept it, knowing that he couldn't match Baby with his own strength, so he quickly ran away. Baby looked at his leaving figure, only joking in his eyes, but did not catch up, because he still has more important things to do. The thing just now must be done by Vegeta, and only he can do it. Damn it, you have to increase your energy as soon as possible, otherwise it will be too late for him to find it. Baby, regardless of Son Gohan and others who were replanted with live eggs, floated outside and released an artificial moon according to Vegeta's memory. The reason why he didn't use this trick in the original book is because Vegeta has no tail and can only be transformed by a machine made by Bulma. Affected by Vegeta's pressure here, Baby figured out the transformation from Shenron and grew a tail. Naturally, there was no need for Bulma to build a machine. Roar. Soon, after absorbing the Boolean light waves of the artificial moon, Baby also transformed into a great ape, and also a golden great ape. He is just a parasite, not pure Saiyan. Of course, he doesn't know how to control his power, so naturally he can't change Super 4. However, the sudden increase in power has already made him swell. Ha 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 ha. Too strong, this force is too strong, it can definitely defeat Vegeta. Baguette, I am coming. Baby sensed the position of Vegeta and Son Goku, and flew over there immediately. Ordinary Saiyan turned into a giant ape cannot use flying technique, because he is too big and irrational. But for the sensible golden great ape, this is not a problem. On the other hand, Vegeta simply sensed the state of the Super Game God Magan, and then retreated to Super 4. Maintaining the Super Game God transformation will continue to consume energy, and the first transformation will not last long. On the contrary, it is Super 4. Without fighting, it consumes very little energy and can even be maintained forever. Huh? Baby's breath? Has it become a golden great ape? Vegeta suddenly raised his brows and looked into the distance, when he saw a golden great ape rushing at an extremely fast speed. This is baby's breath. Son Goku also sensed it, his face was full of horror. Why did he become a golden great ape? Grandpa. Xiaofang was also nervous, but when she looked at Vegeta, she felt relieved again. Vegeta, it should be able to solve it, right? After all, the golden great ape, she had already seen it just now. But the current image of Vegeta is a further transformation on the basis of the golden great ape. What's more, on top of this, there is an even more elusive Magan. Son Goku also thought of this, so he was also relieved, but said with a pity, I didn't expect that there are experts like them in this world. If my tail is still there, I might be able to fight them. Now I am not an opponent at all. Since Vegeta has never done anything bad after crossing over, his breath is still very pure. Son Goku and Xiaofang would naturally not regard him as a bad guy, of course they are in the same camp. Fortunately, Vegeta has no other thoughts, otherwise they would not even be able to find a place to cry. Ha ha ha. Vegeta, I'm back again. This time I want to show you what a powerful force that is completely crushed. The golden great ape baby laughed arrogantly before he even approached. Just waited for him to get nearby, only to see Son Goku and Xiaofang, and red monkey? Baby. Son Goku's eyes burst out with a strong sense of war. However, fully aware of the difference in strength between each other, he did not know how deep he rushed. Son Goku is just innocent, it doesn't mean he is stupid. Go away. Son Goku, I don't have time to talk to you now. The golden great ape baby is now swollen into a batch, completely not paying attention to Son Goku. After speaking, he turned his head and looked around. Where is Vegeta? Tell him to get out of me, I will kill him now. It's so arrogant. Xiaofang shrank his head and spit out her cute pink tongue, and said, Grandpa, he's so arrogant, I really want to beat him. I want to. Son Goku nodded in agreement, and then bowed his head, but I am not his opponent now. It's okay, Grandpa, we still have Vegeta. Two hearts appeared in Xiaofang's eyes instantly, and her face was full of anticipation. She couldn't wait to see how Vegeta beat this arrogant parasite baby. It's a pity that Son Goku doesn't want to hear that, so his head hangs lower. Baguette. Baguette. The golden great ape baby ignored Son Goku and Xiaofang, and also ignored the Super 4 form Vegeta, shouting in all directions. Get out of here, are you afraid? Did you know that I became stronger, so I hid? In the roaring sound, the golden giant ape baby continuously fired energy bombs from his mouth, exploding the surrounding area into ruins. Damn it, this guy is ruining the earth wantonly. Son Goku went up angrily. Grandpa, don't be impulsive. Xiaofang quickly grabbed him. Fortunately, at this time Vegeta finally spoke. Are you looking for me? He had been standing there with his arms just now, looking at baby with a foolish expression. In the end, the guy was stunned that he didn't find him, or he didn't even think that Vegeta had changed his image, so he just ignored it. Huh. The golden great ape baby finally looked over at this time. You are Vegeta? Why is it different? Even the breath is completely different. Forget it. As long as you are Vegeta. How about it? Are you shocked to see me now? My strength is far above you. Are you ready to die? Ha 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 ha. Diddy. Combat strength. 250 trillion. Vegeta used the invisible detector to explore it. No wonder baby is so inflated now, and he does have the inflated capital. If Vegeta is the same as him, maybe there is no way to get baby. It's a pity that he is now at the peak of his combat power, and even Beerus can be beaten. Vegeta didn't talk nonsense with baby either, and went directly to the bottom of baby's head. Dragon Fist. Boom. The golden great ape baby received a heavy blow on the chin, and the exaggerated body shape was still beaten up. Foshan Wuingjiao. Vegeta kicked the golden giant ape's belly, and the latter couldn't help but let out a scream, and his body flew out suddenly, crashing to the ground, exploding an incomparably huge pit. Mentally retarded. Vegeta shook his hair and raised his middle finger to the spot where baby fell. The 250 trillion combat strength is so swelling that I haven't spoken for 10 years. Of course, the Super 4 state Vegeta is actually only 9,999 trillion, but it is enough to beat the golden great ape baby violently. So handsome. Xiaofang saw this scene in the distance, and two hearts appeared in her eyes again. It's amazing. Son Goku's eyes were also rising with a blazing flame, and his fists clenched. No. I also want to get the tail out. The appearance of Vegeta must have something to do with Saiyan's tail. Boom. The golden great ape baby exploded directly into the soil and flew out of the pit. Damn it. You dare to attack me. Baby gritted his teeth with anger. Don't think that this is useful. The gap between us now cannot be made up by a sneak attack. Just let you see what happened after I became a giant ape. Be strong. With that, he exploded and rushed towards Vegeta, raising his arms and smashing it down. From Baby's point of view, his energy has increased so much, and his speed has naturally exploded many times. Even relying on pure physical strength is enough to defeat Vegeta. Unfortunately, reality taught him a lesson. Dragon Fist. Still the same position, still the same posture. With just a flash of body shape, Vegeta kicked the golden great ape baby who was coming straight into the air, and the momentum of forward movement came to an abrupt halt. The gap is. Boom. Sneak attack. Boom. Is it powerful? Boom. Vegeta fell fist after fist. The golden great ape baby was like a sky-jumping monkey, being beaten up and down all over the sky. But Vegeta can always flash in front of him the first time, punching back. The golden great ape baby was beaten so that he could not find his direction, was beaten into a daze, and was beaten to doubt his life. Is this really fake? But his energy has increased more than 10 times, why is the gap bigger than before? Ha ha ha. Xiaofang, who was watching the battle from a distance, was already rolling on the floor with a smile, and her powder fist was punching on the ground, without the image of a lady. Grandpa, look, baby looks so funny, I'm so funny. Son Goku grinned slightly, thinking. I didn't expect that Vegeta had such a side. It really resembles the personality of me and Vegeta when he merged with Vegeta. Doesn't he have anything to do with our merge? Relationships are of course related, but not as Son Goku thinks. The reason why Vegeta has this leisurely play is only because his strength has been greatly improved and he is happy. Of course, he has to take the opportunity to entertain. As for the objects to be entertained, who else besides Baby? The final blow, Shaolin 12 rode 10 legs. The golden great ape baby was kicked 12 times at a very fast speed by Vegeta. Only a single impact sound, and then suddenly fell to the ground, the whole land was shook. If anyone from a previous life is here, they will spit out Vegeta frantically. The 12-way tan legs of the gods and ghosts, is your 12-way tan legs kicked 12 times in a row? It's a pity that there are no people in that world here, and it is destined to be unable to understand Vegeta's evil taste. You win. Vegeta made a triumphant gesture to the baby who had landed on the ground. Baguette is great. Xiaofang cheered up and applauded, and finally added, and he's so handsome. The image of Super 4 completely fascinated Xiaofang, the young Nizi who was in love with her, and turned into a nymphomaniac. It also slapped Son Goku by her side. You know, Xiaofang was the one who admired him the most before, but now the focus of his eyes is on Vegeta. This made Son Goku decided that he must get his tail back. Boom. The golden great ape baby exploded out of the pit in embarrassment, with blood hanging from the corner of his mouth, and his breath was already weakened a lot. Although Vegeta was talking about the final blow, he didn't directly kill him. After all, the strength of the golden great ape baby is not weak. If you want to completely kill him, you must at least condense a period of energy. It is impossible to just use your fists to kill him. Damn, damn. The golden great ape baby roared angrily, his voice full of unwillingness. I have obviously improved so much. Why am I not your opponent? This is absolutely impossible, I don't believe it. Vegeta put his hands on his chest, looked at him condescendingly, and said with contempt, it really is a baby, is your IQ only 5? What do you mean? The golden great ape baby roared angrily. I know. Xiaofang raised her hands in the distance and said, baby, have you forgotten that Vegeta also has a tail? I don't even think about it. Vegeta raised his eyebrows and looked at baby and said, you should understand now? Sure enough, your IQ is only 5. What? The golden great ape baby was stunned immediately, his eyes subconsciously looked at the red tail behind Vegeta, his eyes horrified. Could it be that you? Since you have transformed into a golden great ape, you should feel it too? Vegeta smiled and said, this state has an extremely large power, but unfortunately you are not Saiyan and cannot be completely controlled. If you are still Vegeta now, I'm afraid he has become my current form. Is that so? Baby then came to understand. No wonder he always feels that although the power in his body is strong, he is always unable to do what he wants when using it, because he can't completely control it. So, what does Shenron mean by complete control? Vegeta said leisurely. The transformation of the golden great ape is just a process of guiding Saiyan's potential. The real control is my current form. I call it Super Saiyan IV. Super Saiyan 4? Son Goku and Xiaofang exclaimed at the same time. It turns out that this is a realm above Super Saiyan E, Super Saiyan IV. It's no wonder that Vegeta's strength is so strong that even Baby, who has transformed into a golden great ape, is not an opponent at all. Xiaofang looked at the tall and mighty Vegeta, then looked at the thin and short Son Goku, and couldn't help but vomit. Grandpa, you're so shabby. How could I know this question? Son Goku hugged his head and howled depressed. My tail would have been removed long ago. If I knew that Super Saiyan IV was transformed through the tail, I would have thought of a way to make it. It has grown again. Damn it. Don't get too proud of you too early. The golden giant ape baby roared. What's Super Saiyan 4? I'll go to hell. I will definitely tear you hateful Saiyan to pieces one by one. Do you have anything to rely on? Vegeta raised an eyebrow. The golden great ape baby suddenly burst into laughter. Baguette, you miscalculated. You shouldn't have said so much to me. Do you know, I'm actually procrastinating for time. You will definitely think about it later. I regret the foolish behavior. Sorry. Son Goku and Xiaofang's expressions changed at the same time. They don't know why Baby is delaying the time, but since they have said this, it must be the goal. But Vegeta just smiled and looked at it, without any other reaction. In fact, he already knew what Baby was going to do, and wanted to see where Baby could finally go, so he cooperated with him to delay the time. Otherwise, with Baby, who has an IQ of only 5, can he play tricks in front of Vegeta? Just kidding. Ha ha ha, Vegeta, just wait to regret it. And Son Goku, I won't let you go. The golden great ape baby suddenly flexed his legs, and then jumped high, reaching the height of Vegeta. However, he did not launch an attack, but shouted in a certain direction. Come on, let these Saiyans have a good understanding of what is the end of the Pride meeting. Baby looked in the direction of the past. It was a high mountain. As his voice fell, a dazzling light suddenly lit up on the top of the mountain. Hum. A white beam of light sprayed from the top of the mountain, and instantly hit the golden giant ape baby. What? That's Bulma. Son Goku looked at the top of the mountain and found Bulma's figure. There Bulma was fiddling with a machine, and this white light beam came out of that machine. Bull's lightwave, it's nothing new. When Vegeta sensed Bulma's breath, he had already guessed Baby's thoughts. He just wanted to see, in Baby's current form, where he can continue to improve. And he also wanted to know to what extent the influence of the Bolt's lightwave on Saiyan could be. Baby is indeed a good experimental mouse. You know, in the original work, Baby only used the state of the golden great ape, and he was defeated by the Super 4 Son Goku. In the end, it absorbed the Boolean light waves in the machine, and almost beat everyone. If Yuab hadn't acted in Baby's body and gave the Super 4 Son Goku the opportunity to absorb the energy of other people's super race, and become a Super 4 in full energy form, I don't know what the final result will be. As for why Yuab was in Baby, this is another lingering. Oh no, sad story. Dad. Here we are. At this time, a few figures touched Son Goku and Xiaofang. They were Son Gohan, Son Goten, Trunks, and Yuab. Son Gohan rushed over and hugged Xiaofang for the first time. Xiaofang, are you okay? I'm so sorry about the previous things, and Dad can't help it. Seeing Son Gohan's appearance, Xiaofang cried with joy. Great, Dad, you are finally back to normal. You don't know, you almost scared me to death before. After all, she is only a 12-year-old girl. She followed Son Goku to the universe for nearly a year. When she came back, her father became a villain. Xiaofang is not as strong as she seems. Sorry, it's all bad for Dad. Son Gohan was also scared. In case Xiaofang hurts in his hands, Beer will not be able to explain it, and she will not be able to make it through her heart. Gohan, Goten, how did you recover? Son Goku looks strange. Because Son Gohan really doesn't have the breath of Baby anymore, Son Goku has also relaxed a lot. Son Gohan said, it was Yuab and Supreme Kai who saved us. Yuab scratched his head and said with a silly smile. No, it's actually Supreme Kai who went to the Celestial Temple to find Super Divine Water. After drinking the Super Divine Water, he killed Baby's live eggs. I didn't help. What busy? Actually, you have helped a lot. Son Gohan gratefully said. And I still remember that when we were planted live eggs again by Baby, you came to stop it. I am ashamed. I was a step late at the time and failed to stop him. Yuab's face was even more embarrassed. It turns out that Super God Water is really useful. Son Goku suddenly came over and asked. Then Supreme Kai and Piccolo. Why didn't they come together? Although they are no longer needed, one more person has more strength. Even if it is just in case, it is good to be a reserve force. Son Goku likes to fight alone when he fights, but that doesn't mean he likes to be the limelight alone. In many cases, he also relies on group power. They went to the celestial temple, saying that they want to purify the entire earth with super sacred water to prevent baby from planting humans with living eggs. Son Gohan replied. Trunks suddenly said, "That's right, I've always wanted to ask. That huge ape is baby, right? Who is the one who is fighting with him? How come I have never seen him before?" It seemed that only Trunks hadn't met Vegeta. Oh, and Ueb, but he is the kind of person who doesn't ask directly even if he is curious. Son Gohan's face became weird. Vegeta. He still remembers Saiyan who defeated him, but why did he not see him for a while and his image changed again? Not to mention how they are here, the golden great ape baby, who has absorbed the bolt's light wave over there, quickly overflowed with aura, and his strength improved a lot. Of course, this is only for baby. However, Vegeta was slightly disappointed after using the invisible detector to explore. 300 trillion. As a result, it only increased by 50 trillion, and I was blinded and looked forward to it for a long time. Ha ha ha, Vegeta, you are dead this time. Do you feel the powerful aura of my lord baby's promotion? Have your legs weakened by fright? After the increase in energy, baby swelled again, arrogantly arrogant. Yeah, I was scared to death. Vegeta responded perfunctorily, even yawning, rubbing his eyes and said, I was so scared that I was going to fall asleep. Damn it, you dare to tease me. Baby didn't know that Vegeta didn't put him in his eyes. Immediately furious, his figure rushed over. Oh, if I were you, I would have found a place to hide, a fool who can't recognize the situation at all. Vegeta has lost his patience, and one finger touched baby's big fist. What? The golden great ape baby showed a look of horror. At this time, he finally noticed the huge gap between the two sides, and he couldn't make up for it by simply absorbing a little Boolean light wave. In a flash, Vegeta had reached the top of the golden giant ape, and he slashed down fiercely. Boom. The golden great ape baby slammed into the ground again. Vegeta flickered again, chasing directly into the ground, kicking him up again with a kick. Bull's light wave seems to be just guiding the potential of his tail, not raising any energy. After close combat, Vegeta discovered this. For Vegeta, who can burst into the mysterious mode, there is no need for other ways to guide the potential. Therefore, the bolt's light wave has no practical use for him. Alright. In that case, it's time to destroy you. Looking at the golden giant ape baby flying high, Vegeta's eyes suddenly sharpened. Huh. A golden lightsaber stretched out from his hand and flicked across the air. Blood splashed. A thick tail separated from behind the golden great ape, and its body was gradually shrinking at this moment. Ah. I am not reconciled. I am not reconciled. Baby is still doing the last struggle, but it's all in vain. As the giant ape's body gradually shrank and the cells continued to compress, the baby parasitic in Vegeta was finally squeezed out. He wanted to get away with this, and quickly escaped far away, but it was a pity that a lightsaber swept past and his body was split in two. Ah. Baby's face was full of unwillingness, and he roared up to the sky angrily, and finally burst into blazing light on his body. No. He wants to blow himself up. Stop him. Son Goku and others who saw this scene in the distance had not had time to be happy. They were immediately scared by baby's behavior and their complexions changed greatly. Puff. Vegeta fell from the air and stepped on baby, instantly disappearing the light from him. Do you still want to do these actions in front of me? You are too naive, right? Vegeta kicked both parts of his body into the air, and then a Kamehameha passed by, and baby's two parts were sent far into the sun. Sure enough, this fate is baby's final destination. Huh, it's risky. Son Goku and others breathed a long sigh of relief. It's finally over. Son Goten slumped to the ground for the first time, as if he was the one who fought just now. Baguette is great. Xiaofang ran away from Son Gohan, rushed directly to Vegeta, pulled him and jumped again and again. Baguette, you are so amazing, I admire him. You. What, Xiaofang, didn't you just say this to me before? Son Goku was full of gloom and spit, but it made everyone laugh. Vegeta didn't laugh, but glanced at everyone and said, friendly remind you, Black Star Dragon Ball has been used by baby. The expressions of the people in the laughter froze for an instant. MMP, so to speak, the earth will explode soon? In the end, the earth did not explode. Vegeta used instant transmission to bring Son Goku to the new Namek to find Dragon Ball, and asked Bolunga to eliminate the influence of the Black Star Dragon Ball and let Piccolo escape. I just don't know. After Super 17 comes out, Son Goku is trapped in hell. Without Piccolo's help, how will he come back? But it doesn't matter to Vegeta. Namek's Palenga can make 3 wishes. Since they are all here, Vegeta reverts Son Goku to the form of an adult. He intends to help Son Goku and Vegeta transform into Super 4, and then fight Super 4 Gogeta. Naturally, the stronger the opponent, the better. One last wish. Son Goku asked Palenga to erase the memory of baby on Earth. Although Vegeta feels a little superfluous, Son Goku can do whatever he wants. It's not his time and space anyway. Earth, a certain wilderness. Does it have to be like this? Vegeta glanced at Son Goku not far away, his face flushed, and the corners of his mouth twitched. At this time, Son Goku has taken off his pants and his butt is high. Son Gohan is holding a huge pliers and pulling his tail vigorously. Son Goten is shouting 666. And Son Goku's mouth was constantly screaming. That kind of sourness can be imagined by anyone who has never experienced it. The corner of Vegeta's mouth twitched slightly. Son Goku may not care about this kind of thing, but for Vegeta, who has an arrogant personality, it is indeed difficult to accept. In fact, let alone Vegeta, even if Vegeta himself, he would not do such a thing. But people have always been standing and talking without backache. So Vegeta teased and said, "You can also choose to refuse. In this case, you will need to think of a solution for the Super 4 transformation. By the way, if you rely on the kind of bolt's light emitter made by Bulma, you should be able to do it. Complete the transformation." Then you said it earlier. Vegeta was about to turn around and leave immediately, and went to Bulma for the launcher. However, before he could leave, Vegeta said, "It's just that, relying on the power of the machine, I can't control it as he wants. Even if you make your transformation successful, I am not sure whether your power will reach its peak by then, and whether you will always rely on the machine to transform in the future. Maybe you can spend more time researching it." The corners of Vegeta's mouth twitched again, and the steps that had already stepped out came back again. Although in the Buu period, Vegeta's strength has fallen far behind Son Goku, and he personally admitted that Son Goku is the strongest among Saiyan, but he did not completely give up the idea of surpassing Son Goku in his heart. At home on weekdays, 11 out of 10 days stayed in the gravity room, gnawing his teeth and cursing Kakarot while practicing desperately. It can be said that in terms of penance, no one can compare to Vegeta. This is why Vegeta defines him as desperately Saburo. Now the great opportunity lies in front of Vegeta, and Vegetaken tells him to transform. This is a good thing that Vegeta can't ask for. If because of embarrassment, Son Goku is one step ahead and even becomes a more perfect Super 4 form than him, this is not acceptable to Vegeta. In fact, he felt that he could still use Dragon Ball to make a wish, just like Baby did. However, the Earth has just experienced the catastrophe of the Black Star Dragon Ball, and the old Supreme Kai has repeatedly ordered them not to let them use the Dragon Ball. Therefore, Vegeta ultimately did not choose Dragon Ball. Come on. Vegeta gritted his teeth and gave it up. His face was flushed and full of swelling, and he took off his pants and cocked it up high, following the way of Son Goku. Of course, the person who helped him pull his tail was definitely not Vegeta, and Vegeta would not do such a hot-eyed thing. So this incident fell on Trunks. Because they all wanted to witness the transformation of Super 4, they all ran over. Even Bulma, Bra and Xiaofang are here. It's just that the female relatives are temporarily quarantined, and they won't be able to come here until they finish pulling their tails. Soon, Vegeta also tasted the sourness, but instead of screaming like Son Goku, he gritted his teeth and tried to suffocate his breath. It was already embarrassing to take off his pants in front of so many people. If he screamed like Son Goku, Vegeta's self-esteem would be completely shattered. Puff. After all, people with great perseverance were one step ahead, and Vegeta pulled out the tail first. Seeing this, Son Goku gritted his teeth and persisted, and in the end he was only one step behind and also pulled out his tail. This feeling. Vegeta looked at the palm of her hand, slightly surprised. Pulling out the tail does not directly increase strength, but the sense of balance is better, and the control of strength is more subtle. Sure enough, it makes sense for Saiyan to grow a tail. It is no different from the disabled. It's Son Goku, who is not used to the state of having a tail. He shook his way when he walked and tripped himself. At any rate, they are the king of Saiyan. After a short period of time to adapt, both of them have become accustomed to the existence of the tail. Then next, will you become a great ape? Vegeta couldn't wait, but he still had the vision to ask Vegeta first. Vegeta nodded slightly. Having the power of Super Saiyan, when you transform into a giant ape, you will turn on the power of Super Saiyan at the same time, and finally you will become a golden giant ape. As long as you can stay sensible in that form, thoroughly if you control that power, you can become Super Saiyan IV. It's that simple. Vegeta looked surprised. He didn't know the process of Vegeta transforming into Super 4, but he knew that Baby had become a golden great ape. At that time, Baby hadn't become Super 4, so he thought there was a trick in it. It's that simple. Vegeta smiled slightly and pointedly. It's just that for some people, this may be more difficult to master than Super Saiyan's transformation state. Vegeta was taken aback, and then he thought of something, and the corners of his mouth also cocked. So, his Vegeta finally has a chance to dominate, one step ahead of Kakarot? Are you talking about me? Son Goku also realized. I will lose my mind when I become a great ape, and I can't control this. Vegeta, do you have any idea? No. Vegeta shrugged and said, others may be able to stimulate your memory, but you still have to rely on yourself in the end. Ha ha ha, Kakarot, this time finally gave me one step ahead. Vegeta laughed triumphantly. As a super genius among Saiyan, I won't lose my mind when I become a great ape. Just wait and see me change first. Become Super Saiyan IV. Dad, it doesn't matter, we will find a way to help you. Son Gohan was actually stressed too, but he noticed the key point in Vegeta's words. Vegeta's transformation process is quite simple, it's really as simple as what he and Vegeta said. He created an artificial moon and transformed into a golden great ape. After adapting to the power a little, he transformed successfully. Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. This power, so powerful, Vegeta was shocked himself. He has practiced frantically for so many years, from the Buu period to the present, it has been 16 years. Although the normal combat effectiveness has been improving, he still can't transform into a Super 3. The fighting power of Super 2 is only 100 times normal, far from being compared with Son Goku of Super 3. However, now, Super 4 can transform into a Super 3 without going through Super 3, and it has exploded by 5,000 times. For a while, Vegeta feels like a dream. This feeling is almost the same as the first time I succeeded in becoming a Super 1. Diddy. Combat strength, 150 trillion. Vegeta probed it with an invisible detector. 150 trillion, not bad. After all, he has not added Baby now, and he has not absorbed Saiyan energy and the hatred of the Earth people towards Saiyan. Relying on the strength of the body alone, it is quite good to be able to reach this height. Ah, Gohan, Goten, are you ready? Son Gohan and Son Goten promised Son Goku to help him wake up his memory after waiting for him to transform into a great ape. Of course, if it becomes uncontrollable, Vegeta will take action to suppress it, so those with low combat effectiveness will stay far away, so there is no need to worry about safety issues. Ha ha ha, Kakarot, I finally surpassed you. Super 4 Vegeta laughed triumphantly. Don't worry, if you become a great ape for a while and cannot regain your sanity, I will be responsible for cutting off your tail. Son Goku's current normal combat power is 50 billion. If it becomes a golden great ape, it will only be 25 trillion. Super 4 Vegeta can easily crush him, no wonder he is so proud. Finally, it's time for Vegeta to stand up as a serf and sing. If Son Goku fails to become a Super 4, Vegeta may wake up with a smile in his dreams. However, it is impossible to prevent Son Goku from transforming with his arrogance. Damn it, Vegeta, don't be so proud, I will surely regain my senses. Son Goku couldn't help being surprised when he heard this. Now that Vegeta said so, he would definitely do so by then. I really want to be cut off, and next time I want to be Super 4, I have to pull again. Son Goku doesn't want to suffer this kind of crime again. Gohan, Goten, are they alright? Son Goku couldn't help but yelled. Okay. Brother Son Gohan swallowed wildly, getting nervous. They said that, but they didn't even know how sure they were. Okay. Then I'll start. Son Goku did a few warm-up moves and looked up at the artificial moon made by Vegeta. The next moment, the golden great ape reappeared. An amount of wild violence swept across in an instant, and the Son Gohan brothers didn't even have time to react, and were directly swept away by this breath. Roar. The golden great ape looked up to the sky and roared, and then began to gather energy bombs from his mouth, without even the slightest hesitation. Sure enough. Vegeta's heart shuddered, and he rushed towards Son Goku, the golden great ape. It's a joke. After living on the Earth for so many years, he considered himself a part of the Earth. How could he watch Son Goku wantonly destroy the Earth? But now that Vegeta made a move, Vegeta had no need to make a move. He flickered, and brought the Son Gohan brothers back one by one. Dad. Uncle Goten, are you too shameful? You also said to help Grandpa recover his senses? Xiaofang couldn't help but complain when they saw them coming back. In her eyes, Vegeta was still the most handsome. Son Gohan and Son Goten blushed at old age, and they don't know what to say. If this is the case, they can't refute it. Even if Son Gohan bursts out with all his strength, he is still far behind Son Goku of the Golden Great Ape. Not to mention helping Son Goku regain his sanity, he couldn't even get close to the raging giant ape. At this time, Vegeta had already fought with the Golden Great Ape, and gained Super 4 powers. Vegeta's self-confidence swelled into a group, directly pressing the Golden Great Ape and beating violently. Kakarot, you can't blame me for this, I can't let you destroy the Earth wantonly. If you don't want to be beaten, you can quickly restore your sanity and become Super Saiyan IV. Vegeta's mouth was babbling, and there was no pause in the movement of her hands. In his heart, that called it refreshing, since realizing that now, every time he is hit, when is it his turn to beat Son Goku violently? Now that the opportunity is rare, how could it not take the opportunity to make a few more shots? As for whether Son Goku could become Super 4, he didn't doubt at all. Even if it is unsuccessful this time, it will succeed next time. After all, he is a man who even thinks he is inferior. It is impossible to be defeated by a mere giant ape. Sure enough, without Xiaofang's emotional tear gas, Son Goku, the Golden Great Ape who was beaten into doubt about his life, finally regained his sanity because of unwillingness. Boom. Vegeta didn't notice for a while, and was slapped into the ground by Son Goku, the Golden Great Ape who had recovered his sanity, and even stepped on it several times with his foot. Rumble. The weather in the sky changed, and the whole earth became red like a hot iron pot for the third time in a short period of time. At the same time as the temperature rose, a huge amount of energy burst out from the body of the Golden Great Ape Son Goku. In the end, the Golden Great Ape shrank, and a red-haired monkey stepped on another red-haired monkey. People eating melons. Boom. Super 4 Vegeta instantly exploded, and the golden flames erupted all over her body, pushing away Super 4 Son Goku who was stepping on her body. Damn Kakarot, he recovered his sanity and even took the opportunity to attack me. I can't spare you. Super 4 Vegeta launched a series of fierce attacks on Super 4 Son Goku. It's a pity that his normal combat effectiveness is not as good as Son Goku, and the strength of the Super 4 form is naturally magnified. Super 4 Son Goku easily took over all Super 4 Vegeta's attacks, and he smiled. Didn't you also beat me severely when I lost my mind? I just returned. Now let's talk about it. Draw. Damn it. Super 4 Vegeta wouldn't be so easy to forget, still reluctant to attack, but it was a pity that he couldn't get any advantage at all. Diddy. Combat strength, 250 trillion. Vegeta used the invisible detector to detect the Super 4 Son Goku, and the data obtained was the same as the Golden Great Ape baby. He was a little puzzled at first, but after thinking about it, he understood. Son Goku, the fourth in the original Super League, played against the Golden Great Ape baby. It did have the upper hand, but in the end it was a loss for both sides. The Super 4 pairs of power control are very subtle, and can even prevent the Earth from being too much damage in the extreme battle. This ability to control power even surpasses the realm of gods. So it is understandable that Son Goku can beat Baby with the same combat effectiveness. However, Vegeta helped them transform into a Super 4, but he didn't want to watch them fight. You two, just give me enough. Vegeta's figure flashed, and he had appeared on the battlefield, kicking them flying one by one. Although Son Goku and Vegeta are both Super 4 forms, Vegeta is just the norm. But the attention of the other two was on each other, and there was no defense against Vegeta. The most important thing is that Vegeta's normal combat effectiveness is also 2 trillion. Have you forgotten something? Vegeta hugged his arms and said, I promise to help you transform into Super Saiyan IV. You must use dance steps to fusion into Gogeta to accompany me in a fight. As expected, Saiyan is also warlike. Son Goku chuckled. Vegeta said with a weird smile, I don't think it is necessary to be so troublesome. Now we can fight with you. Son Goku and Vegeta looked at each other, unexpectedly in tune. The two of them didn't even say hello, and attacked Vegeta at almost the same moment. F*K, you are so untrustworthy, Vegeta yelled. If you want to transform into a Super 4, you need to gather strength, and you can't complete the transformation with a single thought. Son Goku knows that Vegeta is very strong. If he becomes a Super 4, the two of them will not be opponents together. So they launch the attack first, forcing Vegeta not to enter the Super 4 form, and maybe they could take the opportunity to suppress Vegeta, or even sling. Think about it. When Vegeta worked so hard to help them transform into a Super 4, only to be beaten by the two men in turn. What was it like? The expression will be quite exciting then, right? Son Goku and Vegeta thought about going together, they shot without mercy, and broke out with all their strength. It's a pity that Vegeta yelled Gwei, without the slightest panic on his face. Can't be Super 4? It doesn't matter, there is another state that can be completed in an instant. Boom. Vegeta's breath suddenly rose, and a strong silver-white flame erupted from his body. His hair was upside down, leaving only a bunch of bangs, and his features became more prominent. Mystery state. In this state, the combat power directly exploded 500 times, which was equivalent to the combat power of the golden great ape, but his body shape was more flexible. How much is a 500-fold increase of 2 trillion? The answer is 1,000 trillion. So, Son Goku and Vegeta, who had just rushed over, instantly Spartan, and then they saw the grin on Vegeta's face. Don't talk about credit, right? Vegeta's figure flashed, and he appeared behind the two, holding a red tail on the left and the right. Not good. Son Goku and Vegeta were shocked at the same time, bursting with golden flames one after another. Full energy. They intend to take the opportunity to break away from Vegeta's grasp and reorganize the offensive. It's a pity that they think too simple, with such a big difference in strength. How could Vegeta let them easily succeed? Boom. The two red monkeys were shaken by Vegeta, and then slammed into each other, slamming gold stars straight into their eyes. But this is just the beginning, and Vegeta wants them to recognize the gap and obediently give him fusion. So the next scene is horrible. Two Super Saiyan IVs who have just completed their transformations, before they have time to show off, they are like dolls in Vegeta's hands. They are thrown away for a while, and then smashed to the ground. From time to time, they will collide with each other. One time. It's inflated. Piccolo, who also ran to watch, covered his eyes and couldn't bear to look directly. Son Gohan's mouth twitched. This is no way. Who would have thought that the two Super Saiyan 4s could not beat Vegeta, and Vegeta didn't even change Super Saiyan IVs. This guy is simply a monster. I don't know where it came from. Son Goten couldn't help but spit out. Trunks asked. You still don't know his true identity? Son Gohan shook his head. I only know that his name is Vegeta, which is the same as his father and Uncle Vegeta's name when they combined, and he is also Saiyan. I don't know the others. If he doesn't say it, we won't be able to follow up in detail. The male compatriots discussed the strength and origin of Vegeta here, and the female compatriots also got together and twittered, but the topics of discussion were completely different. Xiaofang's eyes beamed. Hey, I'm not wrong, am I right? Vegeta is so handsome. Super Saiyan IV was the first to transform himself into a successful one, and he looks much more handsome than Grandpa and Grandpa Vegeta. Really? I really want to see it. Blah also had peach-hearted eyes. I only know that he is very strong and defeated the baby who controlled the entire Earth. I didn't expect that he could even guide me. Dad and Uncle Goku practice, they are my idols. Yeah, right. Xiaofang looked at Yu Rangan. Bulma also sighed. I didn't expect that there is Saiyan who is better than Sun Jun and Vegeta in this world. If I was still young, I couldn't help but look at him. Hee. Xiaofang and Beulah glanced at each other, and chuckled at the same time. The center of the battlefield. Stop, don't fight, I give up. Already staring at Venus, he couldn't distinguish the Super 4 Son Goku from the southeast and northwest. He endured the nausea and surrendered with a white flag. Super 4 Vegeta didn't dare to scream again, and shouted, I also surrender. Hearing this, Vegeta finally stopped cruelty to animals, grabbing their tails and flew out from left to right. Boom. The two each crashed into a pinnacle. Although they were not injured much, they adjusted their breath for a while before finally calming down. Baguette, you were too cruel to take your shots. Son Goku came back rubbing his arms, looking upset. Hey. Vegeta didn't say such meaningless words, but his expression was rather unhappy. Stop talking nonsense, hurry up and fusion. Vegeta threw 2 fairy beans to them. This is fairy beans? How could you have? Son Goku was surprised. Because planting celestial beans consumes a lot of energy and the yield is not high, they generally will not ask celestial beans for celestial beans if it is not necessary. I planted it myself. Vegeta didn't hide it, but urged. Hurry up and eat fusion, don't let me wait. Hey, I really don't want to do that ugly action. Vegeta ate the fairy beans without hesitation, but still complaining in his mouth. Son Goku said, "This is no way. Who made us agree to Vegeta in the first place? But I also want to know whether we are stronger after fusion or Vegeta is stronger." Son Goku knew that Vegeta had a realm above Super 4, but he didn't know what it was called. Because even Super 4 hadn't changed before, he didn't follow up, but maybe it's time to find out now. He believes that with his strength after fusion with Vegeta, Vegeta's strongest strength can definitely be forced out. In fact, Vegeta only wants to use his own power to fight, and he absolutely doesn't want to rely on external power as a last resort. But there is no way, as Son Goku said, who asked them to agree in the first place. This is a very fair deal. Fusion. Together. In the end, the two merged through dance steps, and fusion came out with a powerful warrior. Here, Dad and Uncle Vegeta's fusion. I haven't seen it yet. Son Goten was very excited. Trunks glanced at him, and they both had strange emotions in their eyes. They used this trick to defeat Dabu. It's a pity that Gotenks hasn't had a chance to play again over the years, and it's full of memories. Compared to the strange emotions of the two of them, the others are holding extremely high expectations. Son Goku and Vegeta's fusion, and it is still a Super 4 form. How strong will it be? Will Vegeta be an opponent? Before the start of the war, no one can predict, nor can I guarantee that Son Goku and Vegeta will be better than Vegeta after fusion. After a dazzling golden light, a new fighter was born. Since Son Goku and Vegeta directly complete the dance step fusion through the Super 4 form, the new fighters after the fusion also appear in the Super 4 form. His appearance is similar to that of Super 4 Son Goku, but his hair is red, his eyes are blue, and his body hair is dark red. Wearing the national costume of the Metamor Star, the body has the logo of fusion. I am neither Son Goku nor Vegeta, just call me Gogeta. Super 4 Gogeta pulled his hair up as soon as he debuted, and said this coquettishly. It's amazing. Son Gohan said with a cold sweat on his face, although I didn't feel his breath, the huge pressure made me breathless. It deserves to be the fusion of Lao Son and Vegeta. It's amazing. Piccolo was also dumbfounded. Super 4. Gogeta obviously didn't do anything, and he didn't even release his breath, but he gave people the feeling of boundless oppression and deterrence. It seems that it is a volcano that erupts at any time. Once it erupts, its power will be earth-shattering. Diddy. Combat Strength. 7.5 Beijing. Using an invisible detector to detect the strength of Super 4 Gogeta, Vegeta was shocked instantly. Is it so exaggerated? He knows that Son Goku and Vegeta of this era have a very high basic combat effectiveness, far exceeding that of the Z period. Even if he is a pair of earrings, he may not be as good as Fusion's Gogeta. But in his imagination, Super 4 Gogeta will only have the strength of 2 or 3 Beijing at most. With Vegeta's current power surpassing the peak, he should be able to barely resist it for a while with the Super 4 form. But who would have thought that this product could reach 7.5 Beijing? If it is this combat power, there is absolutely no meaning in combat. Because the Super 4 Vegeta at this stage can't beat the Super 4 Gogeta, if Super 4 Plus is used to supermatch God, it will be too much. Headache. Vegeta rubbed his temples. What's wrong? Didn't you let Son Goku and their fusion summon me out? Super 4 Gogeta hugged his arms in a domineering posture. Now that I find that my strength is far beyond your imagination, hasn't it begun to shrink? Damn it. So, the most annoying thing about fusion is this arrogant personality. Unlike earrings that fit together, except for waves, there are waves. Okay. Everyone is half-hearted, and no one will say who. Vegeta doesn't care about the combat power comparison at the moment, so he will fight first. Boom. Vegeta quickly completed the Super 4 transformation, rushing forward, and launched a full offensive towards Super 4 Gogeta. Before saying this, let me weigh your strength first, Vegeta yelled, a golden light on his body. In the Super 4 form, he only has a strength of 9,999 trillion, which is far from Super 4 Gogeta. Of course, he will not run into a silly rampage, but directly mobilize the power of the rules. The power of the rules to step into the God realm with just one step. Even if you don't change your body to supermatch God, the bonus is quite considerable. At least, when sensing the changes in Vegeta, Super 4 Gogeta's brows twitched slightly. What kind of ability is this? It's a bit weird. Super 4 Gogeta even touched his chin leisurely. It wasn't until Vegeta's fist approached that he suddenly dodged to avoid it. Before clarifying the situation, no matter how arrogant he is, his physical instincts will make him seek advantages and avoid disadvantages. Huh. The speed is quite fast. I see when you can hide. Vegeta sneered, urging the power of the rules, and his body attacked towards Super 4th Gogeta at a faster speed. He is very clear that the strength of this form is not as good as Super 4 Gogeta, and no matter how blessed it is, it can't make up the huge gap between the two. But using the Super Game God to transform is too bullying, and it doesn't make any sense except for beating Gogeta. Therefore, Vegeta thought about it clearly and used the Super 4 Plus rules to fight. Perhaps he could use the pressure brought by Gogeta to make him step through the doorstep and reach the realm of God. Your power is strange, different from ordinary chi. Super 4 Gogeta easily dodges Vegeta's attack while analyzing Vegeta's energy form. This energy seems to have been compressed by a high power, and something has been added. If it is hit from the front, even I may be injured. But it's a pity that the gap between us is too big. As long as I want, I have countless ways to prevent you from hitting me. Super 4 Gogeta is so confident, and he does do so, seeming to completely see through Vegeta's attacking routine. The melon-eating crowd has been shocked by Super 4 Gogeta's brisk performance. They don't know how strong Vegeta is, but all the soldiers present, except Trunks, have been hanged by him. And just now, he didn't even use Super 4, he had easily overturned Super 4 Son Goku and Super 4 Vegeta. However, now he hasn't even touched the corner of Super 4 Gogeta's clothes. How strong is the Super 4 Gogeta? Baguette, come on, Xiaofang yelled in the distance. Bra also yelled. Baguette, don't give his face, hit hard. The one named Gogeta is too arrogant, we must teach him hard. Son Gohan and the others are sweating at the waterfall. Sure enough, the female Saiyan is even more sturdy. Transform yourself. Vegeta, with your current state, it's impossible to beat me. Super 4 Gogeta easily avoided all of Vegeta's attacks, with an expression of lack of interest on his face. It seems that Vegeta, who is Super 4 forms, can't arouse his interest at all. He raised his eyebrows and said, I learned in Son Goku's memory that you still have another transformation. Take it out quickly, otherwise it would be too boring to fight with you. What? Above 4, there is another transformation. Son Gohan and others were stunned for an instant. Except for Son Goku and Xiaofang, no one has seen Vegeta's Super Game God form, so no one else knows yet. At this time, I heard Super 4 Gogeta's words, and I learned a little more about Vegeta's terrifying power. Vegeta was smirked by Super 4 Gogeta's performance. He did do his best just now, but he still couldn't touch the side of Super 4 Gogeta, because the latter didn't plan to fight him at all. Even though he was more afraid of the power of the rules, he still showed a lack of interest. It turns out that his goal is here. Want to see the power of the Super Saigo? The corner of Vegeta's mouth ticked slightly. It's a pity, although your strength is really strong, once I use the power of the Super Saigo, you can't even stop a move. Live. Although Super 4 plus Super Race God only has 10 Jing's combat strength, it is only 2.5 Jing more than Super 4 Gogeta. But don't forget, Vegeta has become a god after breaking through the boundaries of Beijing. At that time, his control of energy will rise to an extremely terrifying state, which is definitely not comparable to Super 4 Gogeta. Regardless of the fact that the gap between the two of them seems to be greater now, they are in the same state after all. As long as Vegeta's rules are used well, it is not without strength. Is that form called Chaos I God? That is to say, it is already in the realm of God? Super 4 Gogeta showed excitement on his face, eager to try. Transform now, let me see what height Saiyan can reach after becoming a god. Not only Gogeta, Son Gohan and others were shocked when they heard this conversation. God's realm? Isn't the god like the god, Supreme Kai? There is still a realm of independence? No, the realm of gods is indeed far beyond mortals. Because Supreme Kai is not in charge of fighting, so his combat power is not high in the realm of gods. But even so, compared to ordinary people, Lord Supreme Kai it's too strong. Piccolo was talking, and his face was already covered with cold sweat at this time. Because he used to merge with the gods and gain some memory inheritance, so he knew more. This is why, when he first met Supreme Kai, Piccolo was clearly stronger than the opponent, so he still had to give in. The suppression of the god realm made him completely unable to lift his hands. It's a pity that Vegeta has no plans to transform at all. He looked at Super 4 Gogeta and grinned and said, wait for you to beat me in this form. Even my Super 4 can't win. He still wants to fight the Super League god. Having said that, The power of the rules was once again on him, and this time he was ready to do his best. Win your form? Isn't it a matter of minutes? Super 4 Gogeta didn't put Super 4 Vegeta in his eyes at all, otherwise he wouldn't avoid the fight just now. However, since you have said that, then I will show a little bit of strength, just a little bit is enough. Super 4 Gogeta pinched out a small piece with his tail finger, the meaning is obvious. It was just that he had just finished speaking, and Vegeta was gone before his eyes. Next moment, boom. Super 4 Gogeta got a punch in the front, right in the face, and flew out suddenly. What? Not only Super 4 Gogeta finds it incredible, but the group of people who eat melons, including Xiaofang and Bra, who support Vegeta, also didn't expect it. HMPH, do you think I really can't help you? Vegeta's mouth twitched, and his figure disappeared again. Boom. Super 4 Gogeta, whose body had not stabilized yet, was punched again and was directly beaten into flight. What's the matter? Super 4 Gogeta didn't see Vegeta's movements at all. The punch was not very heavy, at least for his Super 4 form, it was just a bit painful, and he didn't even hurt his fur. However, this is already incredible. The gap between the two sides is so huge, how exactly did Vegeta hit him? Can you avoid his perception? Not good. Just as Super 4 Gogeta was thinking hard about countermeasures, a hint of warning surged in his heart, and he evaded immediately. However, after he retreated, he still received a punch, and he attacked from the front, directly hitting the face. What kind of ability is this, after all, like a fist? Instant transmission? It's not like. Super 4 Gogeta couldn't understand Vegeta's routines at all, and couldn't do it even if he wanted to defend. He was directly beaten back by Vegeta punch after punch. The strength of each punch seems to be increasing, and if this goes on, he will be injured in a short time. What's the situation? Son Gohan and the others looked at each other, also expressing that they couldn't understand. HMPH, Gogeta, if you are so careless, let alone Super God, you will be beaten to the ground by me even if you were only in Super 4 form. Seeing that Gogeta hadn't entered the state, Vegeta sneered and continued to use the same trick. In fact, Vegeta's ability is very simple, that is, he uses the rules of time and space. This effect is similar to Hit's flash time, but it is more powerful. Hit can only freeze time and space, and within a limited time, only he can move freely. But Vegeta's rules of time and space are different. The rules of time and space include space and time. He can freely shuttle through space, and he can also beat time. Fortunately, the space can appear in a place that Gogeta can't even think of. As for time, it's a bit difficult to control. If the time beating is too little, it doesn't make any sense, but if the time is beating too much, it is likely to shuttle into parallel time and space. Therefore, Vegeta slowly understands this ability while using it. At this time, he was still adapting and adjusting, and he didn't use this ability to its limit. Strange ability. Super 4 Gogeta could only find a little clue, but couldn't fully analyze it, and finally gave up. If this is the case, then I will fight you seriously. However, no matter how strange your ability, the difference in strength lies here, you can't beat me. Drink. In the loud shout, a powerful breath erupted from Super 4 Gogeta's body, and the golden flames erupted, and the spirit of the whole person was completely different. In addition to becoming stronger, his expression also became slightly serious. It's finally in the state. Serious Super 4 Gogeta is indeed powerful, after all, it has a combat power of 7.5 Jing, which has far surpassed Beerus. For Vegeta, facing this state of Gogeta, it is also a bit stressful. However, he also had the blood of Saiyan, and he also understood the fighting rules that belonged to Saiyan. Bring it on. Vegeta also released all his aura. The original golden flames had gradually turned towards golden particles, and only a small part of the flames remained. This is his last yoke to break through the realm of gods. As long as all energy is transformed into particle form, it is equivalent to becoming a god. Drink. Vegeta used his space ability to move to Gogeta's side. While freezing time, he also inspired the rules of fighting. A heavy kick directly greeted Gogeta and attacked his weakest waist. However, after Gogeta exploded, the energy really surpassed Vegeta too much, and the time did not completely freeze. When he got out of the way, Gogeta immediately noticed it and reacted immediately. Boom. The 2 feet slammed together with fierce force, the air was directly detonated, and the invisible energy didn't even spread before it was torn apart by their powerful force. In other words, the strength of the two of them was compressed in a very small range and could not spread at all. Super 4 Gogeta originally thought that this kick would be enough to kick Vegeta into the air. However, Vegeta's strength is not weak, and with the blessing of fighting rules, it is even equal to half of the Super 4 Gogeta's strength. One hit failed, and Vegeta's figure flashed again and again. Through the continuous flashing of space ability, Super 4 Gogeta may appear in all directions. And every time he appears, it must be the most uncomfortable position for Super 4 Gogeta, not only difficult to defend, but also unable to make a full blow. Whenever this time will freeze and the rules of fighting will erupt. Bang 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 bang. A series of collisions kept appearing. It was because Vegeta had exhausted all the means. However, the gap was too big. Super 4 Gogeta could react with breath perception alone, and then counterattack immediately. However, this battle made Gogeta very uncomfortable, because he had nowhere to do it, and possessed far more power than Vegeta, but he couldn't display it at all. However, Vegeta has become more and more courageous as he fought, and every time he attacked, his power would be stronger than the previous one. Saiyan's physique is that the more he gets stronger after the war. After comprehending the rules of fighting, Vegeta developed this attribute to the extreme, and his strength continued to improve in battle. Although the data transmitted from the detector is still 9,999 trillion, his energy compression multiple is increasing, and the progress of rule comprehension is also increasing. If this situation continues, it may not take long before he can break through the bottleneck and enter the realm of God. Asshole, your ability is too cheating, and you have the ability to fight me head-on. Super 4 Gogeta began to be irritable. In his eyes, Vegeta, who can easily turn around, actually forced him to be in a hurry. How could this make the proud Gogeta stand it? Moreover, in his opinion, Vegeta was not really capable at all, hiding like a fly, he couldn't fight at all, and it was very annoying. You are ashamed to say this. I really feel blushing for you. Vegeta smiled and ignored him at all. Damn it. Super 4 Gogeta almost spewed out old blood. However, after all, Son Goku and Vegeta are the fusion fighters, and their combat literacy is still very high. So at this time he has gradually adapted to this style of play, and the combat effectiveness he can exert is getting higher and higher. What made him astounded was that Vegeta was hitting harder and harder. As Gogeta gradually releases his strength, Vegeta's combat effectiveness is also rapidly increasing, and he can always fight him a powerful opponent. How can this be? Your physique, like Broly, is the legendary Super Saiyan. Super 4 Gogeta couldn't help asking this question. Although Vegeta's look was completely different from Broly, he did not lose his mind after turning into a super game. But in the final analysis, the reason why legend is called a legend is that no one has seen it before, or there are only one or two exceptions. Therefore, the Broly he has seen may be a reference object, but it cannot be said that only the form of Broly can be called the legendary Super Saiyan. The legendary Super Saiyan. Vegeta raised his brows and said, perhaps, there is no difference in essence, but even the legendary Super Saiyan is definitely not as good as me. Vegeta was sure that the reason Saiyan became stronger in Vietnam was because he was born with his own rules of fighting. And the legendary Super Saiyan may just be stronger in terms of fighting rules. But in any case, it can't match his direct perception of the rules. Is that so? It seems that I have to be more serious, otherwise it is really possible that the boat will be overturned in the gutter. Super 4 Gogeta's breath exploded again, and a fist knocked Vegeta, who had just shuttled out of the space. If he just entered the state just now, then he is now in a 100% full energy form, and his consciousness is perfectly synchronized with the combat power. In other words, from this moment, Super 4 Gogeta has temporarily given up on Vegeta's Super God, and instead regards Super 4 Vegeta as a worthy opponent. Don't leave your hands. The corner of Vegeta's mouth ticked slightly. But this is exactly what I want. Let me see how strong you can be in this era. Perhaps, through this battle, he was able to hone his consciousness and combat power to the state of Whis. Even if he couldn't reach the realm of Whis in the end, he would at least be able to fight with him. After all, Super 4 Gogeta represents the peak combat power of Super Omega Shenron. You said this era? So, you are not from this era? Super 4 Gogeta suddenly caught this unexpected vocabulary, and his face was stunned. No wonder, then everything makes sense. But it doesn't matter what era you are from. In front of me, Gogeta, the strongest person will always be, it can only be me. Super 4 Gogeta took the initiative to launch an attack. This is the first time in the battle so far, which means that he has completely exploded with all his strength. Vegeta sensed the opponent's frenzied warfare, and couldn't help but stun in his heart. He used the time freeze for the first time, but to his surprise, this time it turned out to be completely invalid. Space Shuttle. Vegeta didn't dare to go straight to Gogeta in this state and directly shuttled to another place. However, this time really shocked him. Super 4 Gogeta seemed to expect him to appear in that position. When Vegeta just came out of the shuttle, Gogeta's attack had already arrived. Your ability seems to be a bit similar to instant transmission, but it's not exactly the same. But as long as I pay attention to the fluctuation of the air, I can spot you in advance. Super 4 Gogeta kindly explained to Vegeta, but his hands didn't stop. After a successful move, he directly hit a set of combo punches to beat Vegeta in a hurry, stepping back. Fortunately, after a while ago, Vegeta's rules have been used more skillfully. With the blessing of the fighting rules, he barely blocked this set of Super 4 Gogeta moves. Of course, Super 4 Gogeta can perform the same trick again as long as he changes his breath, and it doesn't cost him much. But when he blocked this set of combo punches, Vegeta was already numb, panting, and his energy dropped a lot. Is the air fluctuating? If so, then I won't let you feel it. Vegeta condensed his breath immediately, and the space shuttle appeared again. This time, he was not caught by Super 4 Gogeta, and Vegeta hit him again. Only, you lowered your chi. The air fluctuations are indeed small, but what is the use of such a light punch? Super 4 Gogeta was about to fight back, but Vegeta quickly slipped away. Is that really the case? Vegeta joked, but did not explain, but continued to use this method. Space Shuttle, over 4 Gogeta in a punch, before the opponent counterattack, once again Space Shuttle far away. When Super 4 Gogeta searched for Vegeta's breath, he used Space Shuttle to approach again, and continued to repeat the previous behavior. What do you want to do? Super 4 Gogeta was annoyed. If Vegeta is relying on his speed advantage, then he has nothing to say, but now he is using a strange ability that he can't understand, coming and going without a trace. I'm not playing hide and seek with him, it's really enough. Haha, haven't you found it yet? Vegeta laughed, let you see clearly this time. Boom. Space Shuttle, hitting a punch. And this time, Super 4 Gogeta was staggered. What? Super 4 Gogeta was shocked. After Vegeta lowered his breath, was he still improving? In other words, he was digging for the weird ability that came and went without a trace, and gradually evolved from air fluctuations to no air fluctuations. Are you using me to practice tricks? Super 4 Gogeta realized afterwards. This is the reason why you refuse to transform into another form? Hey, you can finally see it. Vegeta smiled, but his movements didn't stop. But this time, he did not retreat with one more blow, but launched a fierce attack on Super 4 Gogeta. Bang 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 bang. Super 4 Gogeta caught the opportunity and also counterattacked, gradually turning from passive to active. Do you think that your strength has increased almost the same, and you have the ability to fight me head-on? It's a pity, your idea is wrong. Super 4 Gogeta said in his mouth. The offensive in his hand became even more fierce. Finally seized the opportunity, he would not let Vegeta slip again. Vegeta was indeed beaten back step by step, almost clenched his teeth, and didn't even have the energy to slap him. However, what Gogeta does not know is that this is the predicament that Vegeta wants. The power of the rules has been considered, and now he can use it handily, but he is always a little bit close. If he can cross that threshold, he will enter a whole new world. Now that the strength has been polished, the next step is naturally to require tremendous pressure to help him break through the bottleneck. I really don't understand what you are thinking. Isn't it good to be in that form? I have to use this much weaker force to fight me. If there is only this level, just don't ask me to come out. It is so easy to appear once. Why do you have to let me waste energy on your Super 4 forms? Super 4 Gogeta kept launching fierce attacks on his hands, but he was chattering with trash in his mouth. Well, trash talking is also a means of attack. However, Vegeta really couldn't stand his unqualified rubbish, and couldn't help snarling angrily, shut up. Boom. Vegeta suddenly exploded, his aura suddenly increased by a large amount, and directly suppressed the arrogance of Super 4 Gogeta. The pressure did not allow Vegeta to evolve, and as a result, Super 4 Gogeta's trash talk worked. After the irritable Vegeta roared, there seemed to be a shackle in his body that had been opened. With a soft puff, the so-called bottleneck is like a membrane, which was punctured. Boom boom boom. A certain invisible restriction was broken, and the energy in Vegeta's body exploded like opening a floodgate. The golden particle energy soared into the sky, spreading to tens of meters around Vegeta, rendering him like a golden energy giant. Super 4 Gogeta couldn't control his figure at all under the impact of this sudden burst of energy. He flew back hundreds of meters in an instant to stabilize his figure, and then looked at the changes in Vegeta's body with all his face. This. As this. Son Gohan and others were equally shocked. The energy of the golden particles cannot be sensed, but only from the surface it is known that Vegeta's energy has overflowed, and overflowed a lot. God realm. Piccolo spit out these 3 words with difficulty. He can be sure that this is the realm of gods, but he is not sure if it is the other transformation that was mentioned before. Is this the realm of gods? I could faintly perceive Vegeta's breath before, but now I can't perceive it at all. Son Gohan's face was full of disbelief. This is the realm of gods. It's completely different from the previously known Supreme Kai's strength, or it's not one-dimensional at all. In fact, not only Son Gohan and the others were shocked, but even the old Supreme Kai, who had been watching the battle secretly, had opened his mouth wide in surprise at this time. In fact, this huge energy of God is too strong, incredible. The old Supreme Kai has lived for hundreds of millions of years and has met many people and gods, but the energy of the gods he has sensed, no one can compare to the current Vegeta. The most outrageous thing is that a mere Saiyan has become a god by his own efforts. This is simply a fantasy. Impossible, it is absolutely impossible. How did he become a god without gaining the position of god and without the rules of assimilation? The old Supreme Kai stood up suddenly, the horror on his face and the intensity of his reaction far exceeded those of Son Gohan and others at the scene. The god Gogeta next to him was already shivering when Vegeta's breath came. Seeing that the old Supreme Kai was so excited at this time, he couldn't help but weakly said, "Old ancestor, in fact, I have always wanted to ask, are the Potala earrings that Vegeta wears on his ears? So, where did he actually come from, Supreme Kai? Idiot. You super idiot, unlearned and skillless." The old Supreme Kai yelled at God Gogeta, and his saliva splashed out. "Need you to say? I found out that they were Potala earrings, and the pair of Potala earrings are the same model as yours. In other words, this Vegeta is actually Son Goku and Vegeta, a super soldier formed by combining the earrings. Just now Gogeta said that he is not from this era, so the most likely thing is the Vegeta when Son Goku merged with Vegeta when he played Buu. It's just that he didn't know what happened in that time and space, which led to Vegeta. Without disintegration, the appearance and breath are completely different." Sure enough, the most intelligent person in the Dragon Ball world is the old Supreme Kai. Just through some scattered clues, he can roughly guess the truth of the matter. Is that so? The Queen Gogeta realized that after realizing it, she suddenly realized. It's no wonder that Vegeta is so strong, it turns out to be so. As expected, only when the earrings are combined can they be stronger than the dance step fusion. That's why I said that you are a super idiot. The old Supreme Kai once again screamed at God Gogeta. Is this the problem now? The biggest problem is that Vegeta has become a god, and it is on his own cultivation. You have entered the realm of gods by accident. But, what's wrong with this? God Gogeta scratched his head awkwardly. It's really surprising that Vegeta cultivated himself into a god. But he has long been accustomed to Saiyan's abnormality, let alone the 2 big abnormal earrings of Son Goku and Vegeta combined. Isn't it natural to be more abnormal? You. The old Supreme Kai suddenly felt weak and slumped. How did you become Supreme Kai? Have you forgotten the common sense of God? If you want to become a god, you must first have a position of god. Then get the approval of the rules and assimilate the rules. No matter what, Vegeta doesn't have any. He is a black house now. Do you know what a black house? Only then did God Gogeta realize the seriousness of the problem, and his face solemnly said, "So if you let other gods know about this, Vegeta will be hunted down by all the gods?" More than that. The old Supreme Kai hates iron for not being a steel road. He became a god in our universe, and we can't escape the relationship. Either take him down or be wanted with him. Now you understand. Take down Vegeta? Don't be kidding, okay. Super 4 Son Goku and Super 4 Vegeta were all easily abused by him. And the strength of God Gogeta is not as good as Piccolo. How did he win Vegeta? Do you use your head? What should I do then? Old ancestor. God Gogeta immediately panicked. What else can I do? Of course. The old Supreme Kai flashed a vicious look on his face and made a wipe of his neck. God Gogeta immediately showed an expression of incomparable worship. Is his ancestor so rigid? I have never found it before. As a result, the old Supreme Kai's conversation turned, but he said, "Of course you figured out a solution yourself. I abdicated a long time ago. What is my business?" Boom. God Gogeta was unstable, and suddenly came a head onion. Earth. The golden particle energy giant, which was originally tens of meters high, has gradually converged and remained outside of Vegeta's body surface. Except for the different energy form, everything else seems to be the same as before. However, Vegeta's breath at this time has disappeared from everyone's perception, and he can no longer capture the slightest. This is the realm of gods. This step is finally taken. Feeling the energy that has become completely different in his body, Vegeta grinned. This is still Super 4 form, and his combat effectiveness has reached 1.5 Jing. Although it only increased by 0.5 Beijing, the strength was already quite different compared to before. Come again. Vegeta waved his hand and threw a fairy bean to Super 4 Gogeta, and then hooked his finger. After playing for so long just now, although Super 4 Gogeta didn't consume much energy, the time limit for fusion is probably coming. Eat a fairy bean to recover, and the time should be able to recalculate. Sure enough, after eating fairy beans, Super 4 Gogeta's energy stabilized a lot. He stared at Vegeta, who was releasing the golden particle energy from his body, and narrowed his eyes. Although it is not the transformation state in Son Goku's memory, but the strength should not be much worse, right? In that case, we will do it this time. Have a good fight. He knew that since Vegeta took the initiative to provoke, this time he must have chosen to be hard-headed and would no longer hide in hiding. This is exactly what he wants. He also wanted to know how strong Saiyan, or Saiyan God, can be in the realm of God. Perhaps after close contact, he can also analyze this energy and reach this state by himself. Although I think too much, if Super 4 Gogeta really can analyze it, it will really help his strength. Come on. Vegeta yelled, and directly moved away. This time he did not choose to attack, but stayed in place, waiting for Super 4 Gogeta to attack. So confident. Super 4 Gogeta grinned, and rushed directly from the front without any fancy way. Boom. The two fists collided together, and the air exploded, which directly opened a vacuum. Super 4 Gogeta's face suddenly blushed, and his figure flew away instantly. Why? Your power suddenly became so strong. Super 4 Gogeta finally stabilized the momentum of retreat, with a shocked expression on his face. Vegeta grinned, did not explain, but hooked his finger to Super 4 Gogeta again. Come again. Come and come. Who is afraid of whom? Super 4 Gogeta doesn't believe that he will not be able to beat Vegeta's Super 4 form, even if Vegeta is not a pure Super 4. Boom. Still just a simple confrontation, Super 4 Gogeta exploded again. This time he didn't say anything, he broke out with all his strength, and with the momentum of forward rushing, he unreservedly released all his strength. There were still no exceptions. In a simple confrontation, he was beaten back again. 3 encounters. Super 4 Gogeta's strength is stronger than once, but each time it retreats further, and the countershock force from the hand is also greater. At this time, his fist was red, his entire arm was trembling, and he could no longer continue to exert himself. Why is this? Super 4 Gogeta had an unclear expression on his face. Because in his perception, Vegeta punches 3 times, with exactly the same force, even at the same angle. But no matter how he fights, he clearly feels that his power is far superior to Vegeta, and it is still him who is beaten back in the end. Want to know? The corner of Vegeta's mouth twitched. As long as you yell, Baguette is not Langby, I will tell you. Baguette is not a wave pen. Super 4 Gogeta yelled directly without even thinking about it. The biggest difference between the God realm and the ordinary realm is that it is very meticulous in energy manipulation. Compared with Super Saiyan IV alone, it is even better. Not to mention that Vegeta has completed the Super 4 transformation, superimposed on the Super 4 realm, and the energy manipulation has reached a terrifying realm. With the same intensity of energy, he can completely break the face. So even if the energy intensity of Super 4 Gogeta is higher than him, he can still crack it easily. When they reach their level, in fact, energy intensity is no longer the only criterion for measuring combat effectiveness. What needs to be pursued is to pursue the smallest. Jiren is the representative of the microscopic aspect. He can use very little energy to beat the Blue Sun Goku with one punch. Winning the Super Blue Sun Goku is not because of his high energy intensity, but just like Vegeta defeating Gogeta, he used a little bit of face and hit the key. If we say that the energy is to the extreme, it is to maximize the consciousness, then the extreme self-consciousness is to maximize the physical body. These are two apex roads that are completely opposite but have the same goal. In the comics, Jiren did not lose to Zizai Goku, so Jiren's peak combat power is equivalent to Zizai Goku. Vegeta has just stepped into the threshold of energy miniaturization, of course, as far from reaching the peak, but this situation is almost similar to the half-step freedom, and it is normal for Gogeta to easily defeat the Super 4. Vegeta briefly explained the situation, and Super 4 Gogeta understood. However, it is clear to understand that if you want to do this, practice makes perfect. Fortunately, the Super 4 realms have basically reached the threshold. If you continue to study, maybe Gogeta has a chance to reach this step. Unexpectedly, your Super 4 form can be tied with me. Super 4 Gogeta shamelessly regarded the defeat as a draw, because he still has a lot of tricks he hasn't used, and he won't necessarily lose to Vegeta in the end. For this statement, Vegeta is non-committal. He knows the meaning of Super 4 Gogeta, but he still wants to see the power of Super Sai God. If you don't let him see, I'm afraid Gogeta won't be reconciled. Nothing. Vegeta hadn't used that power before, so he let the other party see what kind of terrifying situation the Super 4 plus Super Race God would achieve. Boo. However, at this time Super 4 Gogeta suddenly disintegrated and redivided into Super 4 Son Goku and Super 4 Vegeta. The two floated in the air, staring at each other after looking at each other. What's the situation? Didn't we eat fairy beans? Super 4 Son Goku blinked. Super 4 Vegeta angrily said, "Don't ask me about this kind of thing, how do I know?" Judging from the appearance of Vegeta, it seemed that he had to use the power of the Super Game God, and the chain dropped at a critical time. What's the difference between this and the disintegration of the previous moment when you plan to destroy the big boss in a real battle? The same is extremely annoying. Perhaps, the limit of dance step fusion is 30 minutes, even if you eat fairy beans, it's useless. Vegeta guessed, rubbing his chin. The only few fusions in the original work, regardless of Gogeta or Gotenks, seem to be too strong to disarm fusion in advance and fail to last until the end. Just now, Vegeta was worried about this problem and gave Gogeta the fairy beans in advance. Unexpectedly, the energy was restored, and the combination was not released in advance, but it was automatically released when the 30-minute time limit was reached. Is that so? Son Goku was helpless. It's a pity, I almost saw Vegeta's power over the god of competition. Vegeta annoyed. You are embarrassed to say. It's not that you didn't take it seriously at the beginning and wasted so much time. If you used all your strength at the beginning, you would have forced Vegeta's Super Game God out. Can you blame me for this? After fusion, Gogeta has the consciousness of the two of us, not just me. Son Goku immediately retorted. So naturally, the two began to quarrel, and neither admitted that it was their fault. Vegeta sighed slightly, shook his head and turned away. At this time, Son Gohan and others were full of surprises, and their hearts were surging. They saw a very high-end battle, which was also helpful for their future cultivation. Just before everyone gathered around and shouted a few words of 666, a figure suddenly appeared in the crowd. Gogeta. Master Supreme Kai. Why are you here? Son Gohan said hello first. Son Goku and Vegeta also stopped arguing and looked at God Gogeta at the same time. Before, everyone used the Super 4 form to fight. Although the combat power is strong, it did not cause much damage to the earth, because Super 4 has already touched the threshold of energy and can compress the power to a small range. So, Son Goku, they are still very curious about the appearance of the god Gogeta. God Gogeta simply greeted everyone, and then looked at Vegeta with a serious face. Vegeta. Maybe I should call you a combined warrior from another time and space? A combined fighter in different time and space. When everyone heard this name, they couldn't help but stare at each other. At this time, Son Goku later realized, it turns out that Potala's earrings fit together. I'll just say why they are so familiar. Isn't it possible that Vegeta is? Speaking of this, almost everyone's eyes widened at the same time. Potala earrings have only been used once after all, and they are still more than 10 years ago. Even Vegeta has no impression. If it hadn't been for God Gogeta to mention it, they would have ignored it. With a move of Vegeta's heart, is he finally recognized? But he doesn't care much. This world is inherently multi-time and space, even if he knows that he comes from another time and space. Didn't Date also travel through time and space several times? The reason why Vegeta didn't directly identify himself was just that he was too lazy to explain too much. Because once you say it, it will cause a series of questions, and then you have to continue to explain. Now that he has been seen through, he did not deny it, shrugged and said, "You are right. I am the soldier that Son Goku and Vegeta formed when they fought Buu. Later, by coincidence, he traveled through time and space. But now I have basically mastered the way to go back, and will not stay here for too long." At the moment he became a god, He had basically perfected his understanding of the rules of time and space, and he also sensed that time and space that belonged to him, and he could use the rules of time and space to go back at any time. This is amazing, right? Everyone couldn't help but scream. Son Goku curiously asked, "Didn't we disintegrate as soon as we entered Buu? Why can you keep this state? And the appearance and breath are quite different from the time. If it weren't for this reason, and they had preconceived notions, how could they not guess?" Vegeta briefly explained, and then looked at God Gogeta. "Then Lord Supreme Kai is here. What do you want to say?"